that. I fall. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
It's over the wall. It's a home run for Bucky Bench. Fumble. Giants have it. Lawrence Taylor struck the ball.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
God jul alla precious. Jingle bell, jingle all the way. Yeah, jingle bell, jingle all the way. Hit och dit, julen ska vara vit, hår och mjuka klappar. Silver street, nästan som en rit, tänd de levande ljusen. Knacka, packa, glöm ej tacka, klä din gran och dina barn. Snart kommer instrummera fester för alla utom mig. Att vara utan på jul kan väl aldrig vara kul. Under granen, tomt och gröt, vad mannen i sök, glöggen blänker i baren. Skinka och sill, ego lite till, barnen skriker och leker. Ska du titta ner när festen behöver mer, småler att allt jag ser. Att vara själv när det är jul kan vara riktigt skönt, eller julen är här, men jag tar det lugnt, slår mig ner. Andas tungt, ingen fest, ingen het, alldeles ensam i julen väl. Nattens köld är hård, stjärnorna gnistrar och glimmar. Alla sover i enslig gård, djupt under midnattstimmar. Månen vandrar sin tysta ban, snön lyser vit på fur och gran. Snön lyser vit på taken, endast tomten är vaken.
Va? Är tomten naken?
Julen är här, men jag tar det lugnt, slår mig ner. Tungt, ingen fest, ingen het, alldeles ensam i julen väl. Men jag tar det lugnt, slår mig ner. Andas tungt, ingen fest, ingen het, alldeles ensam i julen väl.
Hello. And hold on a second. And bring me up. And welcome. That's time to start our show. Welcome to Hard Rocket Sports. It's another Thursday night live from high atop Hard Rocket Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your weekly get together. We bring you all the biggest news from around the world of hard rock, heavy metal, and of course the wide world of sports. And guys, welcome to the last Thursday of the year and of 2020. Now, I'll tell you that there probably isn't anybody out there right now who can tell me that they're actually disappointed the year is over. That person does not exist. I don't believe it exists. I think in all ways, just from loss of freedom, the politics of the year, the disappointment in the election, just the way things have gone. No fans at sporting events. All the sports turned upside down. Right down to our personal lives, effects at work. Nobody here is happy, is disappointed to see 2020 end. So we hope to bring it a little perspective to the year with this show, although this show is very, very unlikely to have any real perspective. We never really do. But, we'll certainly give it a shot. I want to, again, thank everybody who listens every week. I see a couple people up on the board already. Of course, a good friend and new cousin from Rosebank, Leonard Torricelli. I see Patty. I see Pat. Hopefully Jeff will be joining us soon. But guys, we got a big show tonight. Oh, the mic's kicked up big time. Okay, we got a big show going on tonight. T. Motts and Sean Segru from the band Serial Obsession, our good friends, will pop in about 7:30 to talk a little bit about their new song, Love Alone. Love the single. We'll find out what the band's up to and what they're going to be doing. So looking forward to T. Motts and Sean popping up. We got a lot of sports and music. Kiss tomorrow night live from Dubai. Kiss Goodbye 2020, whatever they call it. I want to see if any of you people out there will be buying this event or listening to it on Sirius. I think Sirius has got it on tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m. I think the concert's actually noon tomorrow live, I believe. So I'll see if anybody's out there paying attention to that. We got some music to kick in tonight, some music stories. Lots of, I want to talk about baseball right off the bat with Gary Sanchez, that moron. We'll talk about the Giants, NFL football, a couple basketball things to throw in here. Might get a visit from our good friend, head odds maker at mybookie.ag, Mr. Rafael Esparza. But he's got some personal things going on, so he may bail out tonight. So we'll see. We'll talk again about the playoff scenario. Let's see. Again, lots of football, a lot of some music stuff, and a lot of what's going on this year. Before Jeff gets on, because we really don't talk a lot of baseball with Jeff on. So, yeah, you're absolutely right, Lenny. If Kiss did it right, it should have been free. Those guys made enough money off our backs. I've been listening and buying Kiss stuff since 1977, maybe earlier. I saw them in 75, Lenny. 75 on the Paul Lynn Halloween special. October 1975 was the first time I saw Kiss, and I've owned every album. I can show you a whole bunch of memorabilia, but you're right. If Kiss did it the right way, and they don't, it's every single nickel they can pull out. This should have been a free concert. You're absolutely 150% right. So, but let's talk a little bit about Gary Sanchez and an article I read in the Post. Now, I always knew Gary Sanchez has the potential, and I'm tired of hearing it, to be a great hitter. Potentially he's the best hitter on the Yankees. Well, potentially I'm a 7-foot center for the New York Knicks. It just doesn't happen. So my problem with the potential is eventually you have to match the potential. Sometimes you have to get there, and he hasn't. Now, is Gary Sanchez a big bat? Yeah, he'll hit 30 home runs. He'll hit 25 home runs on a good season. But you can't hit $147 last year, even in a shortened season. You can't be the defensive liability that you are, and you can't be a lazy ball player, which Gary Sanchez is. You could be I said this today on Facebook to a buddy of mine. We played ball together for years. And I said, you could be a bad catcher. You can't be a lazy catcher. You can't be a lazy ball player in general, but as a catcher, you can't be lazy. That's 3/4 of his problem is he's a lazy ball player. And, if anybody read the Post, and he did this article in some of the paper, and the Post carried it today. But Gary Sanchez said he didn't understand why he got benched in the playoffs. Why it wasn't explained to him. Knucklehead, you batted 147. I think he struck out 64 times in 140-something at bats. He's a defensive liability. So, guys, what nobody understands, and maybe a lot of you do. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say nobody understands. If you're a pitcher, okay, guys like Garrett Cole, especially Tanaka, who has to live in the bottom of the strike zone, you want at 1-2 or even 3-2 to be able to throw a pitch that may end up in the dirt and have the confidence that your catcher will keep that ball in front of him. The Yankee pitchers have no confidence that Gary Sanchez will knock a pitch down and keep it in front of him. They don't. And that's unfortunate. So it makes them a different pitcher. It doesn't allow them to be aggressive. Especially in an 0-2, 1-2 account, you can't afford it, and especially 3-2. But I watch other pitchers on a 3-2 pitch throw one, it's dying in the dirt. And as a hitter, you can't let that go. You don't know if it's going to sit there at the bottom of the strike zone or it's going to drop. So the fact that Gary Sanchez at this point in his life doesn't understand that why he was benched last year is mind-blowing. He should have been here this whole offseason saying, hey, I was bad. I was terrible last year. I haven't been good the last few years, and it's time for me to step up and improve my game. Yes, Gary Sanchez has 30 home runs. I don't care. On a Yankee team with Stanton, Judge, Torres, hopefully LeMahieu, potentially Hicks, Voit. There's enough power there. There's enough offense there. But what I want to see behind the plate is defense first. If you can hit, oh my God, it's that much better. Now, somebody said today, and I agreed with it at the time, I would never have let Romine leave because I think Romine is a great defensive catcher who is an okay hitter. Maybe if he got a chance to play every day, he'd be a better hitter. But Romine was a great catcher. And that's what the Yankees need, is a great catcher. And the problem I have right now is Gary Sanchez has had every opportunity to be the full-time catcher, take this job, and don't even be a great catcher. Be a good catcher. Be an aggressive catcher. Now, the guy's got a cannon. People don't want to run on him. Absolutely, Lenny. But my problem is the guy's made no effort to make his game better. I actually heard somebody say, well, the problem for him last year was he was with the calling pitches, and they were trying to make him focus on framing pitches. Dude, the pitches are getting called in from the dugout. He don't even have to think. He looks over, they give him the sign, he flashes it, go get it ready. And this framing pitching thing, who cares? You catch the ball and you stop. Anybody who thinks that the umpires are fooled by a guy catching the ball and snapping his glove over, the umpire's made up his mind to a click before that. So please stop with that framing. They make him a framing. He's thrown up by being what does that have to do with his offense? He could not hit. People have figured it out. Throw the ball, he will chase it. Gary Sanchez is an average hitter. Prove it wrong. I'll be happy to say I was wrong about it. Gary Sanchez is an average hitter who hits a few bombs and is a terrible catcher. The Yankees signed him this year to a $5 million deal or whatever it was because they could not afford another catcher. They did not want to pay McCann or Realmuto. But to me, I would have went out there and got the best defensive catcher. I play Higgy. Higashioka is an average hitter. Maybe he won't even be that as an average hitter. The guy's a damn good catcher. He put on a clinic in the playoffs, especially that one game. I think he dug 6 or 7 out of the dirt. Your pitchers are better when they have confidence that they can throw any pitch and the catcher's going to stop it. Catch it more than likely, but at least keep it in front of him. And they don't have that in Gary Sanchez. And to me, if Cashman's deal was, I'm afraid he's going to go someplace else and reach his potential. Thank you, Patrick. I agree with you. Framing is overrated. Patty is an umpire and one of the Hall of Fame umpire from Staten Island. And Patty will tell you, I guarantee you, he's not fooled by catchers framing a pitch. I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen. So to me, I think Cashman got nervous. Let him go be better somewhere else. It ain't going to happen. He's a lazy ball player. That's the bottom line. And I personally, he's clueless. For him to actually say, well, they told me when I wasn't going to play during the regular season, but nobody came to me in the playoffs and explained it to me. Dude, you hit 147. You're a terrible catcher. And you struck out 64 times out of 147 at-bats. Did somebody, here's the dumbest thing. Now, folks, I'm not the brightest bulb in the whole box. I was not the greatest ball player that ever walked the face. I played hard. I was never the greatest ball player. But I think this might be the dumbest statement I've ever heard a ball player, especially a professional, say. He said, and I quote, well, I struck out 3 times in the game, but I took good swings. What? I promise you, folks, right now, sign me to a contract. Throw me out there against Jacob deGrom or Garrett Cole. I promise you, I will take 3 of the best swings you ever saw. I'll never make contact. But I will look like Barry Bonds, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig. You can stack them all up. I'll look that good making the swing. I'll never touch it, but I'll make the swing. I'll look great. He actually said, even though I didn't make contact, I had I had some great swings. Great swings? What does that even mean? I don't even know what that means to anybody. What does great swings mean? Now, if you tell me I got up, I hit 3 rockets right at people, okay, you okay? Okay, that to me, people come out of slumps. That's what you're looking for. I'm looking for a guy who's maybe going up the middle or hitting one to the other way on a line, and it just happens to get caught by the right fielder or the first baseman or the shorts or whoever. That's getting good swings. Yeah, Patty's good at missing the ball. He's top notch at it. But don't tell me I swung, missed 3 times, didn't make contact. Oh, yeah, but I had good aggressive swings. What? I've never heard that before. If I'm Ted Williams, I'm spinning in the grave right now. If I'm Joe DiMaggio went an entire season, I think he struck out 50 times in an entire, it might have even been 50 times. I'd have to look that up again. It was absurd. That I had like 500 at bats and struck out like 30 to 50 times. I mean, ridiculous. This guy's striking out 64 times in 100 and something at bats, and he's telling me he had aggressive swings. Who the F gives a shit? It's terrible. This is what's wrong with professional sports today. These guys will settle for mediocrity. He hit, I think in the last 2019, I think he hit like 240 something. And I'm still listening to people like Michael Kay. Even Ron Bloomberg, who I love talking to, even Ron Bloomberg came on and said, yeah, well, I think potentially the guy, stop with the potential. It ain't there. 1 year, 2 years, you go, okay, he's got potential. 3 years. This guy's here 4 or 5 years now, guys, and it ain't even close. He's getting worse. It's time to move on. I want a defensive catcher who has the ability to put the ball in play. Let him do the little things. Give me a Joe Girardi type. Joe Girardi was not the greatest catcher I ever saw, but Joe Girardi could sneak up on you, get a hit, play good defense, call a great game. That's the kind of catcher I want. All right, maybe they don't exist. Maybe you got to go top. Your high ceiling is the Realmutos. I want it for a catcher on my team more than any other position on the field. I want a guy who's rock solid defensively. He not only is he involved in the stop in the running game, but the guy makes the pitchers better. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to just keep going on this, but it is horrendous to me that this is what's going on out there. So I know they signed him. He's the catcher this year. But I've had enough of Gary Sanchez. As a Yankee fan since 1970 something, my first game was 74 or 75 at Chase Stadium. Through right now, I am a tried and true Yankee fan. Doesn't matter. Just as a baseball fan, I want a catcher who catches, not a guy with potential. And to me, the biggest sin of any ball player, I've seen guys who were tremendously talented ball players in a lot of sports, but they were lazy. They just loafed it. I've seen guys who were, I'm going to put myself, guys, I'm not telling you I was a great ball player. I'll just tell you, I never was lazy. I hustled. And that's what kept me playing in competitive sports with people, because I never took a day off. I can tell you that for a fact. I always went out there every single game like they was my last, and I always wanted to prove that no matter what, I might not be the most talented, but I'll bust my butt down there. And that's what I want to watch from a professional athlete. I don't have any respect. Matt, Matt, I disagree with that. I think Dermot Munson absolutely is the best catcher of my generation. Jorge Posada was a real good catcher. He turned himself into a better than average backstop, and he was a really good hitter. I wouldn't say he was great, but yeah. And will I say Thurman's the last great one? Maybe, yeah, probably. They haven't had too many good ones since then. So, but I could live with if you told me that I can't have Thurman, but I can have Jorge Posada, I can live with that. Yeah, that's right, Lenny. The East Shore Little League way. I learned from all those guys up there. Youngie Labetti and Sam DeFazio and all those guys. Bobby Oriyama. I learned from all those guys. But you play hard, and that's the problem with Gary Sanchez. And I will not ever root for a ball player who's lazy. Again, you don't have to be great. You could be an average ball player in any sport. Just go out there and play hard. And that separates you from the bad ball players. So Gary Sanchez has all the potential in the world. If you're lazy, you're never going to reach that potential. It's just never going to happen. So I don't know if that's Jeff with the Gumby Dam. It probably is. I just don't see him on my screen yet. But again, guys, Hard Rocket Sports here, the year-end show. So much to get to. We're going to talk about 2020, some of the things going on. We'll talk to Jets, Giants, playoff scenarios. I'm doing my little rant here on baseball right now. Let's see. Jeff sending me a little private message here. Okay, Jeff, when you're ready. Again, so much to talk about, so much to do. But, guys, I'm glad you guys stopped in with us tonight. I hope, I'm hoping for a better, obviously a much better 2021. I have hopes. I think, guys, listen, I'm going to give you I think we're stuck with another year of this. Maybe it'll get better and better, but this isn't going away with vaccines in the next few months. I think the politicians will take advantage of this. But I hope we get back to some sort of normalcy, going to baseball games, going to sporting events, going to concerts, being able to go to see my friend, my cousin Leonard Torricelli perform in a club someplace, whatever. So, but I hope I'm holding out for Jeff college football. Let's talk a little college football real quick. We did baseball. Let's talk a little college football. And there's so much. Oh, you know what? Here's the other thing. I listened to a lot of people online this week on sports radio talking about Jacob deGrom. Now, I think Jacob deGrom is a good pitcher, really good pitcher. But Jacob deGrom is not a Hall of Famer. Not yet. Okay? He's not even as good as Mel Stottlemyre. Mel Stottlemyre won 100-something games, maybe close to 200 games. He's not in the Hall of Fame. He had 140 complete games, 40 shutouts, 320-win seasons, and Mel Stottlemyre is not a Hall of Famer yet. Okay? He played on some of the worst Yankee teams of a generation. Jacob deGrom is not even Mel Stottlemyre yet. Okay? Jacob deGrom is not even the best Mets pitcher in history. Okay? Let's take out Gooden. Take out Seaver. He ain't better than Gooden. Okay? Now, Gooden should have had a better career, a much better career, and maybe Gooden might even been a better Yankee for some parts. But the bottom line is, he is a good pitcher has been on a bad team, other than the World Series year. But Jacob deGrom right now is probably not going to get in the Hall of Fame, and if he does, I think it's a travesty. And I'm sorry to say that. Okay, he may be the Don Mattingly of pitchers from the Mets, and I know Met fans and some people out there are starved to have a homegrown Met actually get into the Hall of Fame. I don't know. Jeff, is anything I could do? Let me know to help. But I don't want to hear anymore that Jacob deGrom is a Hall of Fame pitcher. He's not a Hall of Fame. He's not close to being a Hall of Fame pitcher. I don't think he's even won 100 games yet. And again, you can certainly blame it on the team he plays on. I get it. I get that. But you can't. That's not my fault. That's not his problem. You need to win games. Okay, you need to elevate your team and be better. And Jacob deGrom is not a Hall of Famer yet. Now, if he does another 5 or 6 years and he wins another Cy Young or two, or maybe magically wins a few 20-game seasons, go for it. But Miles Stottlemyre, and I'm using him as an example. I'm sure there's other guys out there. The guy had 140 complete games, different era, 3 20-win seasons on some of the worst baseball teams in Yankee history, and yet is not a Hall of Famer. So keep that in mind, everybody out there, when you're talking about Hall of Fame and all of that. I like Jacob deGrom. You can argue whether it's him or Scherzer or some of the other guys. Who's the best pitcher? To me, it's down to those two guys probably. But don't tell me he's a Hall of Famer yet. Not yet. I haven't seen enough yet to put him in the Hall of Fame. Guys, Hard Rocket Sports, 347-826-993 and 4. Waiting for Jeff to pop up. Wait till we got Sean and Tom and T Motts from Serial Obsession. I'm going to play their single when I see both of them up, and then we'll get them on for a few minutes. In the meantime, I think we're about 5 minutes from seeing the boys, so let's we're waiting for Jeff. We're waiting for T Motts and Sean. I'm going to hold my year-end stuff till Jeff's on here. I think it'd be better with him. So let's talk about the college football playoffs real quick. So hopefully these games go off on Friday. I love Alabama in the first game. Okay, I think Alabama is head and shoulders over Notre Dame. The second game is a toss-up to me. I do like Clemson. I think they're hungry. I think it's unfair that Ohio State is in the college football playoffs. All the other 3 teams have 11 wins. There are some really good teams that didn't get in there that probably deserve it more than Ohio State. I think Ohio State got in there by name only. And they were talking about today on the radio, and somebody said, well, maybe we have to expand the playoffs and get more teams involved. Here's the problem. There's 2 really great teams right now in college football. And that might change when Trevor Lawrence goes to the pros, but there's 2 really good teams. You could add in Cincinnati. You can add in BYU, who probably deserves to be there. Texas A&M. There's a bunch of teams that you could probably get in. They're not beating those teams. Now, maybe on a rare occasion somebody sneaks in and beats you, but there is such a big difference. It's like 1-16 in the finals. No, Matt, I don't think he needs to win a World Series. He just needs to win games. And unfortunately for him, DeGrom keeps getting stuck with bad bullpens. So, and again, I think he got started a little late. He hit his groove near 30. I think I don't think the World Series hurts or helps him at this point. Let's get back to the playoffs. So adding more teams is fine. All you're doing is giving more teams the opportunity to play, but these teams aren't close. These teams are not close to Clemson and Alabama. Alabama is, 10 years. They got to be 5 or 6 years in the championship game. It's not the system. It's just that there's such a disparity between the top 3 or 4 teams and then everybody else. And even 4, which is Notre Dame, to me, is a major drop-off from the other teams. Now, they could sneak in and win. They have a decent team. Maybe if this was a regular game and Notre Dame traveled their crowd out there, and maybe that would be a little better. But the system's not broken. It's just it's 2 good teams and then everybody else. There's not parity in college football. I mean, you look at Alabama. I mean, they are just pumping out players. And Clemson's right there too. I mean, God, they've got some of the best defensive linemen that I've seen in a long time. That's a good team. Their back, his name escapes me at this moment, could be a Heisman Trophy winner. Lawrence is a great player. They shouldn't win it. Lawrence shouldn't win it. He missed a game or 2. I would probably take Mac Jones from Alabama as my Heisman finalist. I like the kid from BYU. I think there's been a few good players, but the bottom line is adding more teams to college football the playoffs does not help. Okay, so get that out. Now you can do it just to get more teams involved, get more revenue, the whole bit. Unless you can make their parity, there is Alabama, Clemson. I'll throw in a normal year, Ohio State, and everybody else. There's just everybody else. So I don't know how you fix that. How to let these teams catch up a little bit. Yeah, I agree. I don't think so, Pete. I don't think Notre Dame has a shot against Alabama, and I honestly don't believe in Ohio State either. I think Justin Fields is an overrated quarterback. You guys, until an Ohio State quarterback goes to the NFL and plays really well. I mean, take Haskins out, which I said before the draft, I want no part of Haskins. I thought he was overrated. J.T. Barrett, Terrell Pryor. I mean, you got to go back to, Herb Street was a terrible pro quarterback. Art Schlichter had a chance if he didn't throw it away gambling. I mean, other than that, there's been nobody coming out of that program as a quarterback who's gone to the pros and had a good career. Nobody. So, again, certain teams have good quarterbacks. It's almost like Notre Dame. Look at all those guys, Tony Rice. Look at those guys who all played, Brady Quinn. All those guys who went to Notre Dame as quarterbacks and then came to the pros. The last good one that I can think of would be Montana. That's 79. So there are certain schools that produce great ball players, but they don't go to the pros and meet that level. So listen, if I'm the Jets and I'd be very leery of Justin Fields. To be honest with you, if I'm the Jets, I'm trying to trade back 4, 5, 6, 7 spots to somebody who really likes the guy, and I'm getting far away from him because I don't like Justin Fields as my quarterback going for the future. They'd be better off trying to get somebody a little lower, keep Darnold, bring another veteran in if you want to wash your hands of that. So, but as far as this weekend goes, I'm going to pick Alabama and Clemson, and I like Alabama to win it all. I just think they're too deep. Devontae Smith, Najee Harris, I think is completely. If he was on any other team, would be a focal point. Mac Jones has had a great year. Alabama wins this again. You're not fixing this, so good luck to that. Everybody out there, Haskins was. Pete, here's the problem. If you looked at Haskins, I kind of did the deep dive because he was such a Giant fan, and I was almost hoping in the beginning that he would go to the Giants. But when you looked, his stats, 0 to like 25 yards were amazing, but anything over 25 yards, he was horrendous. So he was just flipping the ball out short, and he lived on that. And he could run the ball a little bit for a bigger guy. And he played on a team that was really good in kind of a bad division at the time in the Big Ten. But I knew when he got to the pros, it was going to get popped up. So, hey, Filthy Gumati's in the house. Hey, Louis Pica. I see Jeff just popped up, and it looks like he's got his camera issues worked out. So let's get the co-host of the Hard Rocket Sports Show right here on the year-end show 2020. Lots of talk. We got Giant stuff coming up. We just blasted Gary Sanchez for 10 minutes. We talk football playoffs. You guys want to talk about college football playoffs? We're here to talk about everything. But and Gumati's, we talk about rooftops. We talk about the pop-up Gumati's, all of them. But let's get Jeff on. Jeff.
What's up, man?
You tell me. I see you got your screen all fixed up.
No, different computer. I had to restart another one. Fucking brand new computer. I can't figure out how to use the fucking camera. I thought the motherfucker would come on as soon as you
if you
there's
want,
allowed.
We'll do one over the week. If you want to do something over the weekend, tomorrow or whatever, we can do a kind of a fake show. Get you all worked up.
Well, let's see what happens. Tomorrow I got to work. I got to work Friday. My boss is out sick, so I'm going to be working a lot. But we'll figure something out. First, I got to figure out how to turn the fucking thing on.
Yeah. I see that T. Motts has popped up.
Happy birthday. Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year to everybody from us at the Hard Rocket Sports Show. We hope your Christmas is good. Let's start it off the right way. Jeff, how was your week?
Sad.
It's sad?
Sad. This Christmas is over.
Yeah, I hear you. I got
New Year's, man.
Yeah, I hear you. Now, I want to let you in on a secret before we get the show really going.
What?
Well, for the last 3 weeks, I have worn this hat.
Yeah.
So I realized, I firmly realized that I believe that this hat has been it's been bad luck. So my Giants, since I've worn this hat, have not played well. We will not be wearing the hat tonight because we need good luck tonight.
Listen, I hope it doesn't matter what hat you wear. I just hope that they go down the fucking drain.
Well, we'll get to that. I see.
The best part is because NFC East fans hate the other teams in the division.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That it really doesn't even matter to somebody else outside of an NFC East fan who wins that division, because you're going to be so twisted if the Giants don't win it. And especially since they all have like the same record, sucks. So it'll be awesome. I think the Eagles the only ones that are out of it?
They're the only ones out, yes.
Yeah. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, no, it's going to be. Listen, we're going to get to it after T. Motts and Sean. Sean, your video's not up. I can't get you on. I'm giving you another minute. I'm going to probably play a little of their song right now. There he is.
I'm wondering if he has the same computer I got. Maybe he can tell me how to get on.
No, he just popped up. So I'm going to play a little bit of Serial Obsession's new single, Love Alone. And then we'll get the boys on, talk to them for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then we'll come back. We'll talk a lot of Giants, a lot of playoffs. So guys, hang in there. Yes, I think Patrick. I think the hat was a jinx. I can't figure it any other way. So I'm putting the hat. The hat's officially retired for the year. It'll go in the box for. I might put it in the freezer. Kind of freeze it. Put it in there so it doesn't admit any bad juju. So my Giants have a chance to win.
You sure that it's not that the team itself just sucks?
Nope, absolutely not. It's the hat. It's the hat. I'm
gonna blame it on a hat.
I'm blaming it on the hat.
But meanwhile, they've sucked all year.
They haven't sucked all year. They've had
what are they? 5-11, 5-10.
They're 5-11.
5-11.
Sorry, they're 5-10. Sorry, 5-10.
That is not a good team, Tom. Would you have lost 1/3 of your 2/3 of your games? It's not good.
Are we playing for a playoff spot this week? That's all that matters.
So what?
We're going to talk Giants right after this. Let me play a few seconds of Love Alone.
Wait. I told you this was going to happen. You're not getting away so easy, and I don't care who's waiting. Okay, those Giants. That's a bad team, Tom.
I'm not doing this now because I got a lot to say, and I'm not cramming it.
I'm just going to continue to talk over it anyway. It doesn't really matter.
I could kill you, Mike, in a second.
Good, but every time that I'm on, I'm just going to continue this fucking ramble.
Let's play a minute. Let's talk to Sean and Tom and T Mots, and then we're going to come back. Yes, so Lennon. I don't want to hear about 5-11 sucking, Lennon. I don't want to hear it. My Giants have a chance. My Giants have a chance.
I knew this guy. I knew I liked this guy, man.
All right, let's play a little bit of Level Up for my boys.
You got to get him to sing
a
theme song, lounge style, like he does, man.
You know, that's a great idea. Len, I'm going to come up with a song. Maybe Jeff will write it. We're going to write a Hard Rock and Sports theme song like we used to have, and we're going to have you do a lounge singer version.
Yeah, but only if you get Louis Pica to narrate in the middle of it or something. Let Louis stop, let it stop, and then have Louis Pica come in and just narrate some stuff.
Kind of like we'll do like a John Facenda. Have music in the background. Louis come in. The autumn winds.
Whatever. Just let it happen, man. That's all.
Let me play a little bit of Love Alone from my friends at Serial Obsession, and we'll come back with Sean and T Mots, and then we'll go talk a lot of sports. We got a lot of Giants, Jets, NFL playoffs.
Plus a bunch of dead people too.
My cousin's married to the Giants' niece. Well, we might have to get your cousin, whoever, on the show to talk a little Giants. But right now, let's do a session. Hold on.
A lot of dead people too.
Oh yes. We got to do the death toll. We do it every year. Jeff reads out the list of people who passed away. Hopefully, folks, you won't hear your name on the list tonight. While Jeff reads.
And if you do hear your name on the list,
I hope you added the person who passed away, who was all over Facebook right before we went on the air.
Of course.
Okay. All right. Let's play a little of Love Alone right here. Hold on, guys. Hard Rock and Sports 347-826-9934. On the other side, T Mots and Short Segru from Serial Obsession.
If you can be cool, yeah, I'm into you. Crawl under that hill. If I never die, only twice this night. I've got it to deep end, taking it to your eyes. I never know. Cover the night. Gotta know for sure. Gotta take it pure. The higher than the light. There's a back to know. Where can it go? Try your best to beat it. We're the same all night. My love alone. What's coming to deep end? Taking it to life. My love alone. My love alone.
Well, guys, I'm going to hold it right there because I want to get the boys on. Again, remember, we got the new logo out. Tell us know what you think. Also, guys, while we were talking to Sean and T-Mots, do me a favor. Let me know who you guys like in the college football playoffs. Let me know what you think this week in the NFL and the playoffs in general. And stick around. We're going to get to more sports right after we get on my good friends Sean Segru and T Mots from Serial Obsession. What's up, boys?
Hey,
Hey, there you are. Sean, how you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. How you?
I'm okay. Mots, my man.
All right.
Mots, come a little closer. I'm not hearing you. Mots, get your volume up. I can't hear a word you're saying, my man. Check your volume. If you're using the mic, there you go.
Maybe that's that.
Let's see.
Hey.
How about now?
Yeah,
there you go. Mots,
You can hear me now?
Yeah, it helps when the mic is near you to talk. I know you're a professional musician and all that, Jeff, but you gotta bring the mic to him. Like if I take my mic and go out here, it's a little hard to hear me. But if I bring it in, technology says I work better, Mots.
He looks
Actually,
like
I didn't have the phantom power on. That's why it wasn't working.
you look like you're in a TV set and someone just flew the boom in.
All right,
It
and
just like
go.
came out of nowhere.
Johnny Collins, what's up, Johnny? Hey, Jeff, your boy Johnny Collins is there, my man.
Yeah, I seen him. What's up, guys? How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Jeff?
All right, man. How's it going?
All right.
Good, guys. Listen, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and all that to you guys.
Same to you guys.
Hey, so we got a couple people on the thing like the tune. I love it. It's a great tune. Mots, I'm going to go to you first since you're a little older than everybody.
Hey now.
Just kidding. Mots, why? I'm used to the last couple of albums, EPs. I'm used to getting a treasure trove of Serial Obsession stuff. This time, you guys went with the single. How come?
Okay. Well, part of it was out of necessity. We originally were talking about going back into the studio to do an EP at the beginning of the year. Then the world shut down and the pandemic hit. And so we did have a few songs that we were playing live at the time and were already ready to go. And we have a bunch of ideas because, this is a very creative bunch of guys. Sean and Arno on bass and Ian on lead guitar. There's a ton of material, but we didn't have the time, or the resources to wait to do a full album. And so we chose 3 songs. We said, let's just record them one at a time as singles and be able to focus and really hope that we can focus on a track that we could light a spark and people would want to go and listen to our other catalog of music. And, since we're doing it this way and remotely and then, bringing it to a studio to mix and master, it's a longer process and we didn't want to wait. We wanted to get new music out there. We wanted to start, 2021 on a good note. And that's why we did that.
Okay, that's fair enough. Sean, is that process much different from what you guys had to make it any more difficult to kind of just go in and do a one-off and leave? Is it a little more difficult or a little more odd than what you're used to?
Yeah, for sure. But we've actually lately we've done it kind of in all the ways where we've done kind of part live and then overdubs and done that all in different studios. Like that, when we did our album, we did it in like 4 different studios, I think. And so the last couple times we had Ian do his stuff at home, just because guitar stuff, especially when you're doubling up and tripling up parts, it's going to eat into studio time. And it's a lot of money that indie artists don't have. So, so he kind of got those perfected and then at home. And then I would bring him into the studio and let's say we did World on Fire. We reamped it. And then other times we've used amp modeling. So we have options and it's actually pretty easy now to do, but you have to really stay on top of it. You have to know where every file is. You have to know that everyone has the right working version of whatever you have. If you're going to do edits at home, all that stuff. So it was a lot heavier on our part, kind of keeping it all together as opposed to, having it just be on a board in a studio somewhere. And then we get a rough mix and go in and actually fine tune it. So it's mentally, it's a lot more work, but you can spend a lot more time getting it to where you want it to be.
Okay, that's fair enough. And guys, Hard Rock and Sports again. T. Motz and Sean from Serial Obsession joining us. Love Alone. Check them out. Make sure you go to their websites and Facebook page. Great band. Lots of great music from those guys over the years. Almost there. There's a ton of I got on my iPod. I get to listen to every so often.
Great.
Good stuff. But so Motz, let me ask you this question. So when the pandemic hit, everybody got separated. Did you guys try and keep it together, playing, practicing? I know you can't get out and play, or did you guys take a long break? And now going forward, what's kind of the plan?
Well, at first, none of the studios were open. We all practice a lot. I mean, I have my own MIDI studio. Sean has, his stuff. Ian, Arnold, everybody practices.
By the way, I haven't even. You can see behind me. I apologize. It was like a new old computer and all this. This is I just come in here. All I do is band stuff. That's it. So I haven't even unpacked the room.
Right. And also like we did, as things started to ease up, we did get together a few times over the summer, and
we had to it was really important to finalize, because we knew we wouldn't be able to get in the studio all together necessarily with everyone's schedules and stuff. So we just had to finalize what we were doing for the next several songs that we're going to record.
Right. So that like these 3 songs that we're going to be doing, the first one is Love Alone. We're very excited about it. And, it kind of keeps morale up. It's very hard to not, you guys play, you guys are musicians, you guys know a lot of musicians. It's just killing the whole industry, venues, from the big tours to just indie venues throughout the tri-state area. I mean, we were on a roll. We were doing, our last gig was March 7th at the Bitter End. It was a great show.
It was a great show. And it was actually pretty packed, and we couldn't figure out if it was like because the shutdown was coming or what, and we realized it's because the NYU kids are all on break.
Right. So I guess moving forward is we're playing it by ear. The exciting thing is that creatively, I mean, there's a lot of ideas, and we have these 3 singles. We're going to be really like pushing Love Alone to the point where people are either going to love it or be annoyed by it. And, and then we're just going to move on, and then just continue to do that and see how things work out. And if, we'd love to play live. It's what we do, it's great to interact with people, but in the meantime, we want to keep everything rolling. And this is the best way that we know how to do it. So we're just going to keep at it.
No, keep it going, because you guys, listen, this one's great. I can't wait to hear more. We're huge fans here. We love having you guys on. And I got an idea, Jeff. I think that since the Hard Rock and Sports Band has gotten back together, we got our boy Johnny Collins paying attention, our new singer, and a dear old friend, and Chris, our new drummer. I think we should open for the Serial Obsession boys at a show down the line. I think it would be a great combination. Little Hard Rock and Sports covers followed up by the boys from Serial Obsession. Jeff, what do you think?
That's up to them, man. I'm ready to go play a phone booth at this point in time.
I'll
go anywhere.
That would be great. I know Jeff is a great bass player. He's got an amazing array of basses that I see from time to time on that he posted. And we got to play. We did a show a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Haven't we all a couple years ago?
And we would love to do it again.
I want to play a show that's not a benefit, where I can go and enjoy myself. Not that anybody would enjoy hearing me play, but just to be out there going and play. But I'm usually the kind of guy I get to play, and then I got to run around and worry about auctions and money, and getting the next band on. I want to open a show.
Up in that stuff, man. You got to do what I do. You get too wrapped up in that stuff. You got to do what I do.
Yeah, drink a lot.
Yeah.
We would love to do a show with you guys out in Staten Island.
You could get someone to MC the night for you. You could get someone to do the auction.
Well, it sounds good, but then somebody's got to be up there and go, okay, now it's your turn. Now, okay, go. And believe me, I've tried. It doesn't work. Maybe I'm too much of not a control freak, but I want to go professional. But listen, we would love to do something with you guys. We love what you guys do. And okay, so now, Sean, when do we start seeing more stuff, or are you guys taking a break from sending stuff out?
Well, we got to get this thing all said and done. So
okay.
I mean, everything's on track, but we got promotion stuff. It's just us doing it. So we're working hard on this, but I was cutting a lyric video for this song last night, and finishing that up and getting it out as soon as possible. And I took some time to edit together the bass tracks for the next tune that's coming out, so I could send it to Ian so he could start recording, because he was asking for him last night. So and
Ian does an amazing wall of guitars. I mean, he's like incredible. And the next song is a song that Ian, kind of brought in, and it's like a heavy song. It's different. We're not afraid to try different things. This song, Love Alone, is a little bit more alternative, and we might do some more progressive stuff or more heavier stuff. We like to just be creative, and whatever flows, that's what we go with.
No, keep up the hard work. Keep it going. I got a couple more quick ones for you guys. Mats, I'm going to ask you about the Kiss year-end Kiss 2020 goodbye show. I'm a little disappointed in it. I'll tell you why.
We were talking about it at the top of the show. I was thinking of you.
I will be watching it, right?
See, okay,
but I screwed myself because all I was saying was, I wonder if this thing's going to be live, because it was saying it was going on at 9:00.
Right.
And I know that they pull some shenanigans, those guys, even though I love them. But then I saw that, yes, it is going to be live. Dubai time at 9:00.
Yes.
So it's like noon our time, which I'm not going to be able to watch, but I did buy the stream, and I will be watching it at 9:00.
Real quick. I mean, Lenny Torricelli brought it up a little while ago, and he's 100% right. And I was thinking the same thing. At this point, after the bad year everybody's had, don't you think Kiss should have said, "Hey, this one's on us"? Shouldn't it have been free?
Everything should be free, but we live in a world where it's not like that. So
come on, this isn't some other band who's just got back together. This isn't this is Kiss. They got. You're telling me they need your? Was it $99?
No. The regular stream was $39. You could pay $999 for the VIP. What are they coming to my house? Is Gene Simmons gonna come in? And, or are we opening up for them? Then I'll pay $900.
Then I would do it. Yeah.
Listen, any fucking band that sells air guitar strings. Okay, and you're worrying about they should be giving it to you. You got to be fucking kidding.
Yeah, I listen. I can pardon a lot of stuff. I just feel like for $40, do they really need our money? Now, if they told me, hey, we're charging you $40, but we're donating all the money to 2020 relief someplace,
or half the money.
Yeah, something.
Anything.
Don't tell me that Gene and Paul and Kiss need that money. That's ridiculous. It really is.
I mean, you got a point, and we can like this can go on and on, but I mean, again, I'm sure the next day it's going to be free on YouTube. Somebody's going to have it if you want to watch.
And let me ask a question: Why couldn't they do that concert here in America? Again, if you're doing it in an empty building, because they're doing it in an empty building there, so it's not like they're allowing them to have people there. Why?
I think they're going to be guests. The hotel guests will be able to watch it from their rooms.
Okay, but you could have did that here. You could have opened up a hotel.
Fucking playing for the Prince of Dubai. Do you know how much fucking money? Gene Simmons, they're not going to do anything for fucking nothing. Come on.
No, I get it.
This guy is making a fucking mint. He's going to make more in an hour than you made last year.
I get it. But I'm a Kiss fan. Mats, I know, is a big Kiss fan. At some point you got to give back a little and say, hey, for everything you guys have done for us for the last 40-something years, here's a little something.
Yeah, all right.
I get it, Jeff. You're right.
Ain't gonna happen, bro. Stop.
I got you.
You either just like, again, nobody has gun to their head. There are people that say I'm not giving them any more of my money, and they don't. Or people that just say, you know what, got nothing to do on New Year's Eve. Can't go anywhere, so I'll dress up as Peter Criss, run around the house. And
listen, as just forget about if you're a Kiss fan or not. Most people haven't seen a real kind of concert. And Kiss are going to put on a real concert. They're going to be
it's going to be a great show. It's going to be everything that you would want.
Right, so you're taking advantage of the fact that nobody's able to see this type of thing for the most part anywhere. And I think Kiss is taking advantage of their fans and people in general. But that's the norm. Sean, before we let you guys go,
there's one business theory about this, because anytime somebody says Kiss something, I think, what's the business angle?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if it's not $19, because if you threw $20 on it, you might forget about it. But there's something about the viewership that he wants. And so if you pay $40, that's like the lowest amount that you're definitely going to tune in and watch.
Probably.
Because it's like, even if it's $30, you're like, you know what? I'm drinking with my wife and I'm just going to screw this.
If it's $6, you might not watch it.
But if it's $40, you're going to tune in. And I wonder if it's like, so he can say, we did the show from Dubai in the biggest hotel in the world, and it was a great night for Kiss. It could be, the whole thing could just be like, he could be just swinging it like the greatest viewership of all time.
It's possible. Listen, nothing would surprise me with those guys. Hey, Sean, give me a minute on the football players. Let me see if I get it right. You're a Bills fan?
No, Pats.
Okay, you're a Pats fan. So, okay, tough year. You guys sucked it out this year. No big deal. 20 years, it happens.
It happens.
Give me a minute on the playoffs. Where are the Bills the team to beat? Kansas City? Where are you going?
I love the Bills.
Yeah.
I kind of checked out in the last couple of weeks, because I went from like third in fantasy to 0. I lost all my players.
Oh boy.
Like twice.
Really?
Pretty much. Yeah. I kept Ezekiel Elliott, and then he screwed me at the end of the season. So misses one game, and it's when I need him.
Listen, you're fault for taking a cowgirl to any of the cowgirls. I refuse. I'm bad at fantasy. I refuse to take anybody from Washington Eagles, from the Redskins, Eagles, or the Cowboys. I refuse.
Well, I ended up with Goddard because I had to. I mean, it was like there was no option. It was a 10-player league with a COVID IR.
Oh, man.
So I had these guys were sitting off the bench of the other guys. I couldn't pick anybody up halfway through the season.
Oh, man. Oh, listen, tough year for everybody. But guys, listen, we love the song. I'm going to probably end the show with it. If not, I'll bring it back next week and put it on on next week's show. And you guys, when you got more stuff, come on. But I'll tell you one thing. We want to do a show with Serial Obsession. You know what? Even just to play, get to hang out with you guys. I think it would be a lot of fun. Johnny Collins is pressuring me to get it.
We would love to do it. It would be great. And I'd love to see you guys. And let's start the new year off rocking.
As soon as they give us a sliver of an opportunity, I'm going to get something done. Hard Rock and Sports Band will be getting back together, doing a little practice, and hopefully early next year.
That'll be great.
Guys, we're definitely going to do something. But listen, I love you guys. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having us, Jeff, Tommy. It was great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Everybody, please check out. Hey, by the way, give me the websites. Give them all the places to find you guys.
All right. We're Serial Obsession Band on Instagram. We're Serial Obsession on Facebook. And we're serialobsession.com. And we encourage everybody, check us out. Please support live emerging artists like Serial Obsession, and there's a lot of really good music that's being written, recorded, and played, and is not getting, the due respect that it should. So, support emerging artists, and have a great new year.
We should check out that Reverb Nation playlist, right?
That's right. And we're on Reverb Nation, and we're going to be on Spotify and a lot of playlists. So,
you check us on Instagram or Twitter. And we post all the stuff when it comes up, and we do it a lot, so you can't miss it. Well, we posted that Reverb Nation thing, but that's definite fun. It's a fun little playlist we're on.
All right, guys. Listen, guys, enjoy your New Year's Eve. March, enjoy the Kiss show. Let me know how it is. I'm not giving you my. I'll catch the YouTube version.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Guys, enjoy it. We'll see you guys later. We'll get together. We'll talk.
Absolutely.
Serial Obsession, Love Alone. Please check them out. Great band, great guys. Guys, have a good New Year.
New Year, guys.
Thanks. You
Take
too.
care.
All right, that's Sean and T. Motts, two of our good friends over from Serial Obsession, and we were happy to have them on the show, and we're looking forward to now Jeff and I getting back and doing a little talking. Jeff, where you want to go? You want to talk about 2020? You want to talk Giants? What do you want to talk about?
Let's hold off on 2020 because then we'll incorporate the dead list and stuff like that.
Okay. All right, so let's talk. First off, hold on, folks. Before I forget, Jeff and I talk nearly every day. I would tell you that 9 out of 10 days in a row, I'll hear from Jeff. And I think this week was only one day I didn't really hear from was yesterday. And it's usually kind of something stupid. Just kind of like Jeff will come in and get me like, Gettleman should be fired, get rid of Joe, like just off the wall stuff. Today, I think he reached a new high in lows. He wants me to call him the expert. He wants to be known on the show as the expert. And I refuse. I absolutely.
Every pick and prediction that I have made over the last year has pretty much come true.
Here we go. All right, I'll tell you one right now you missed. I'll tell you one right now you missed.
What's that?
I'll tell you one right now you missed.
Not the Patriots, the Buccaneers.
Yes.
That one I missed. So one.
It's just one off the top of my head. I'm sure I can go down the list.
I told you the Jets were going to suck, and they sucked.
Yep.
Okay. I told you that the Lions were going to suck, and they sucked.
Okay.
I told you the Jaguars were going to suck, and they sucked.
Yep.
A lot of teams that I told you were going to suck.
Okay.
Ended up sucking. You were like, I don't know about that. I don't think they're going to win. And
well, I won't argue that some of your analysis is good. Some of your analysis is bad.
Some of them.
Some.
Wow.
I didn't say all. I
can make you see the light. Can you see that?
I can see the light. I see it clearly.
Yeah,
I can see clearly as the rain is gone. So now, okay. So I'll turn it over to you. You could start your giant dismemberment.
Actually, I don't want to dismember the Giants right now.
You don't?
No.
You said you want to talk.
I don't want. There's a lot of things that I want to do. Don't worry about what I want to do, man.
Okay.
I change like the wind.
Okay, so what would you like to do at this moment then?
I want to talk about how much I hate the Giants.
Well, that's so good.
But I don't feel like it right now.
Okay, so then I will. Okay, so here's what we're going to talk about. Here's the thing, guys. So the Giants now 5-10.
They're heading for 5-10, and they're heading for a playoff position, man.
That's right. And I make no apology. Here's the thing.
I'm not asking you. They should apologize.
No, so if I'm the Giants, okay. Here's how I'm looking at this right now, Jeff.
Oh God, there we go.
Here's how I'm looking at this. Sunday at 5-1, I will be in a chair, and I will be rooting for my beloved New York Giants. Now, again, do I know that this was an up and down season, more down than up? Do I know there's still a lot of questions on this team? Absolutely. Do I know that there's a lot of things that need to change? I'm not sure about my offensive coordinator. I got a tight end who made the Pro Bowl who I trade tomorrow for a pack of gum. There's a lot of stuff for this New York Football Giant team. But Sunday at 5-1, I will be in the chair and I will be rooting for them to win. And I make no apologies. If the New York Giants win Sunday, I will be, first off, ecstatic that they won. Now, that's still no guarantee. They still got to hope that the Redskins lose. Now they've got down to Taylor Heineke as their quarterback. The Eagles have no business winning. They suck, and they have nothing to play for. They'll be lucky if they show up. But if at sometime about 7 o'clock Sunday night, if the Giants have won and the Redskins lose, I will be bombarding the airwaves and your phone. And I make no apologies.
That's all right. You know why? I'll just put the motherfucker upstairs.
Okay. So,
but you're going to be sitting at 5-1.
Yep.
So at 12:55, you're going to sit in your chair in front of the TV watching the Giants.
Correct.
Okay. This is what I hope happens on Sunday.
Go ahead.
When you get in your chair, I hope you got a nice, comfortable chair.
Oh, I got a nice, great recliner. Beautiful.
There's nothing better than watching a football game when you're in your recliner, right?
Absolutely, yes.
I hope one of the springs breaks.
You do.
Yeah. So, like, instead of you sitting like this, you'll be like this.
And you know what? I sit on a stack of phone books if I had to.
I hope you have one short.
All right, that's fine.
Okay? Then, I hope the sun for just one day shifts its angle just a little bit, so that it shines right through the window, right onto your TV for the entire game.
I have shades.
I hope that they burn the wires on the shade.
I have
the
shades.
strings on the shade. I hope they get dry rot and fall down.
Listen, I'll tell you this. Atlanta, you're right. They're never going to win the Super Bowl, and I don't care. I don't want them to win the Super Bowl. I just want the team to progress. I want them to learn how to win, change the culture. This year's about changing the culture.
5
and
and
that's
10
what I
is
want.
learning how to win.
Yes.
It's hurting the team.
No, it's not hurting the team. It's not hurting the team.
You're
No,
gonna
it's not.
if you make the playoffs, if the New York Giants make the playoffs, now you're gonna have a pick. First of all, you don't stand a chance of getting to the Super Bowl. You know that.
No, of course not. I don't even think they can win. I don't even know if they win a game.
Instead of picking somewhere within the top 10, you're going to end up picking somewhere in between 25 and whatever, 20 and 25.
No, if they make the playoffs, the lowest they could be at that point is 19. If they win a playoff game, it could be
maybe
25.
away too high.
No.
Too high, too deep.
Jeff, you guys had the number 3 pick a couple years ago. You took Sam Darnold. How'd that work out? Getting a high pick does not mean automatic success.
Now, wait a minute now. Listen,
Yeah.
you can say whatever you want about that quarterback class, okay?
Yeah.
The only quarterback that's actually doing anything, for the most part, is Allen, who's gotten better year after year after year.
100%.
He was the one that everybody had a lot of questions about coming out of that draft. Okay, Sam Rosen, who was the most NFL rated of all of them, is now. I don't even know where the fuck the guy is.
Josh Rosen actually
Yeah,
was,
right, Sam Rosen. Josh Rosen.
he was on the Buccaneers practice squad till last week, and then he got picked up by the 49ers. He was the backup quarterback Sunday in the 49er game.
All right, so I mean, still, he hasn't touched a football.
I agree.
2 years or whatever, 3 years, whatever it is.
But that's my point, Jeff. You don't know. You can pick 1. You can pick 20. You can pick 30.
You're right. You're 100% right. But chances are you're going to hit on a stud closer to the top of the draft than in the 20s, and you know that.
Okay, I'm not going to argue that, but to me, I want to change the culture of this team. I want this team to get to the point where they expect to win every year.
The culture.
Yeah.
Get rid of Gettleman.
No, you're
Get
so
rid of Gettleman.
wrong. You're so wrong. Here's the problem, Jeff. And I'll tell you in a nutshell. First off, I think the biggest question, not whether they should have a new quarterback or a new GM. The big question to me is the problem I see is the offensive coordinator. Because here's the problem: last year, Daniel Jones, 24 touchdowns, looked 3 or 4. I think he had 3 games or 4 games. We had 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Okay, yeah. Skins Eagles is 8:00 Sunday. Are they kidding me? They moved that game to Sunday night at 8:00.
Wait a minute. Wait. Usually, the week 17 there is not a late game.
Well, they try to play a lot of the games at the same time so that way, there's no chance of somebody folding. The games are meaningful. So, that game is meaningful no matter what happens. Oh no, it's not. Yes, it is. Because the Skins win. Yes, that's a meaningful game.
Depends on what the Skins do.
Yes, because if the Cowboys win or the Giants win, if the Skins win, they make the playoff.
I know what you were going to say before he brought that up.
What?
And this is the only thing that I could tell you where I will defend the Giants. Okay.
Yep.
I know what you're going to say. Daniel Jones, he lit the league on fire with 9 touchdown passes this year. Okay. But I'm telling you, due to COVID, due to no off season, no preseason, nothing, these guys didn't get going. I mean, look at even fucking Mahomes. Kind of had an off year for him compared to last year.
I agree.
This year is not something that should be looked at in a serious light. Bad players played worse. Okay, good players played bad.
I agree with that. I said I throw stats out for any player.
To certain players and everything else. Daniel Jones, he was injured a little bit, so he did miss 2 or 3 games because of an injury.
I think he's missed 2. Yeah.
Okay, and I know what you're going to say as far as the offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Jason Garrett, that's an Adam Gase signing. Jason Garrett, he got fired by the Cowboys, right?
Yes. Why
the fuck are you hiring him when he got fired? Just like when Adam Gase got fired by the Dolphins, why did the Jets fucking get him?
Hold on a second. Johnny Collins, Happy New Year, Johnny. Yes, we're going to get together after the New Year. I'll talk to Jimmy, and we love having you in the band.
We just got away. Chris was in the hospital, got his foot operated on.
Oh, really? Is he okay?
I I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
I texted him real quick. I didn't even text him. Really, it was Facebook.
Gotcha.
He said he was okay. I said, "Did you break it?" And he was like, "No." So a man of many words. I don't know if he has gangrene, if they're going to take the rest of it. I have no idea.
Gotcha. Jeff, here's the thing about I don't know if I can blame Jason Garrett, but I'll look at this. He had some issues that got him fired.
You
right?
gotta blame him. You gotta blame him. He didn't help.
I agree. Agreed. So here's the question, though. Next year is a big year for Daniel Jones, and here's the problem. We're too fast to force these guys to be great early. And Tannehill's a thing. I go back to Eli. Eli's first 3.5 years were not great. People were calling for his head. If he wasn't Eli Manning, he probably wouldn't have got a fourth year. And in the fourth year, he wins the Super Bowl.
Listen, this is the way it is around the league.
I agree.
The running back, it does not matter. They'll sign you as a running back. They don't really care.
Right.
Okay. They running back by committee, whatever. But there is not many teams that have one lone running back. Okay. So everything hinges on the quarterback. If these guys don't fucking start producing immediately, if not sooner, that's it. It's done. Okay. Now Haskins, just real quick.
Sure.
Haskins, he got released by the Redskins.
Yeah.
Okay. He definitely should have got. He did some stupid stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Wise and everything else. But you know what? There's teams right now sitting there with a great big boner because he passed through waivers.
Yeah.
They know that somebody's going to pick him up next year.
Carolina's talking about signing him now. Carolina's talking about signing him right now.
Carolina and a couple other teams were interested in him. But they're not going to sign him until after the season. So he's done for the year.
Okay. Rightfully so.
He can and will get picked up by somebody.
Absolutely.
It's going to happen.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing because now if he goes to the right place, listen, if Josh Rosen is still playing and still on a team, that's got to be telling you something.
But, Jeff, don't you think at some point, though, especially at the quarterback position, those teams have to have a little patience? I mean, you're asking a guy to come into the pros and be great. I mean, I even heard today and one other time this week that the Dolphins play Tua so early because they want to make sure that what they have, because their pick from the Texans could be a number 3 pick. And they want to make sure that if they need to make a change. I mean, here's a guy you went out and got. You tanked for Tua, supposedly. You got the guy. And now you're already talking about maybe he's not the guy. And the guy hasn't even played a full season. I mean, isn't that a little much at this point? And don't we need to have a little patience?
I agree with you on a lot of what you're saying. But the thing, excuse me, I'm sorry. The thing that you have to realize and understand is these teams all in panic mode.
Yeah.
Do they have a guy that's going to go in there, throw for 300 yards a game, 2-3 touchdowns a game, and minimal interceptions and turnovers? They're all in a panic. So now there's how many different quarterbacks that may come out in the first round? There's like at least 4 or 5 of them that they're talking about, right?
I would say, yeah, you got the kid from BYU, Justin Fields, who I don't like. You got Lawrence, the kid from Florida, Mac Jones from Alabama. Yeah, there's probably 5 guys who could sneak into the first round.
Yeah. So I don't blame Miami, although I'm like, you got Tua. Why don't you see what you got? But Miami's a team on the rise. Miami may need a seasoned quarterback to take the next step. And while we're at it, I want to maybe we'll do this for next week. Teams that we think are gonna surprise next year.
Okay.
Do something like that,
Gotcha. Yep.
But and I think that the Dolphins are one of those teams. The Dolphins, if they make the playoffs now, they may actually make some noise.
Oh, I agree. I think they're talking. I think if I'm heard it right, I think Fitzpatrick's starting now. And what if they make it to the playoffs? Do you go to Fitzpatrick? Are you going to Tua? Are you going to start Tua and yank him if he Fitzpatrick? I mean, I want to show that play. I mean, I'm sure you saw it. That'd be the craziest play I've ever seen.
His head off.
Yeah, but Fitzpatrick is who he is. He's a guy who come in short bursts and give you crazy plays. But at some point.
Depends. Sometimes he hits the switch the other way.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, he's like the sands of time. Eventually, the sands run out. That's him.
Well, like Jekyll and Hyde. You
Yeah,
don't know
true.
which one you're gonna get.
But let's go back to Josh. So I mean, you're talking about the possibility of giving Daniel Jones his 3rd offensive coordinator in 3 years. You're talking about giving the guy, he hasn't really had a stud wideout or a big play guy. Barkley's been out a good part of last year, all of this year. So, I mean, as a Giant fan, I do not even want to talk about a new quarterback. I want the kid to get a good chance. But at some point, do you keep Jason Garrett for continuity, Jeff, or do you jettison him now and start all over again? And is that fair to Daniel Jones?
Listen, we've seen it happen many, many times over the years. It happened to Mark Sanchez with the Jets. It's happened to a lot of guys over the years. They'll be in the league 3-4 years. They'll have 4 or 5 different fucking offensive coordinators and coaches. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's like they're not letting these guys even get acclimated in a system.
Yeah.
But look at a guy like Sam Darnold. Here he is 2 years under Gase, and he's not really doing anything. He's not maturing. Okay. There are people on the team that know what they're looking for and want to see certain different levels of play from these guys at certain times in their career. Daniel Jones, a lot of turnovers. I understand that, like I just said earlier, he didn't get much playing time this year. Injuries, no preseason, but still only 9 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
He might have cut down on the interceptions and fumbles, but still only 9 touchdown passes. His job is to score. So they may have turned around and said, you know what, after 9 games, we're going to peg him to be about maybe 15 touchdowns. Okay. 15 to 16 touchdowns. He's got 9 at the end of the season. Maybe he gets 1 or 2. I don't see him going on a tear. That.
No.
So they may turn around and say, well, they got numbers and formulas and everything else that they crunch at this time. And they're going to say, he falls short. He's not taking the progression. He's not taking the next step. That's the problem with Sam Darnold. That's why I tell you right now, I'm catching the fucking horrors when I see these people turn around and say, well, it looks like Sam Darnold is going to be there another year.
I think he is. I got to be honest with you, Jeff. I think it's going to come down to the next coach. Does the next coach come in and say, hey, I can fix Sam Darnold, or Sam Darnold's a product of bad coaching, leave him and then go get, maybe draft a guy, at some point in the draft, or bring in a veteran guy, somebody who gets caught, a Haskins type. I'm not saying Haskins, but a Haskins type guy, maybe somebody who didn't get a chance somewhere else, a Trubisky, a Foles, and then play Sam Darnold. I could see it, because I got to be honest with you, Jeff. There's a big drop off after Trevor Lawrence, and based on Ohio State quarterback track records, I would stay the hell away from Justin Fields.
Well, listen, you said this before, and we touched base on this before. There's always somebody that's going to buck the trend, and you don't even know when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And these guys, once again, you got to give Joe Douglas a little bit of trust and hope that he knows what he's doing. Is it worrisome as a Jet fan? Yeah. And to be honest with you, this year I did not watch the Jets that much at all, because I knew they were going to be a horrible team. I watched more overall football than I ever have any other year before.
Okay.
Watching one specific team. Now I feel as though that I watched a lot of Kansas City. I watched a lot of Buffalo, a lot of Baltimore Ravens, some Packers.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or like some of the bigger teams that are always on TV. I didn't watch the Jets at all. I remember listening to the Jet game on the radio when they played the Raiders, and they fucked it up with what Greg Williams did.
Yeah.
It's a bad team. It's a bad team. They're not fun to watch.
No.
We've been losing.
Now, the last 2 games, they've looked. Again, I want to bring that up later, but the last 2 games, their defense has been great. Is this a product of maybe bad coaching by Williams, by thinking he's better than everybody else? Is this just motivation at the end of the year? Guys are trying to get some highlights on a reel for the next team. What's the thought process on the last 2 games?
I don't know. All I know is that if you think about that team and the last 2 games, chances are most of those guys on that team, coaches, offensive coordinators, all coordinators and everything else, are not going to be there next year, including some of those players.
Yeah, of course.
So everybody was auditioning for something. Everybody.
I agree.
That I think was a travesty was Adam Gase and his loyalty to fucking Gore.
You think that was a travesty?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Yes, I do.
I don't disagree with you. I just want to know why you think so.
You at this point in time, okay, I don't understand why Johnson didn't turn around and say, listen, bench this guy or put him, he's second, third stringer. I want to see all the young kids play.
I agree.
To know what we have on this team.
Agreed.
I know what Frank Gore is capable of doing. He's been doing it for the last 15, 16 years. Okay, I need to know what the guy that's only here for a couple of games in the NFL, I need to know what he's doing.
Yeah, I agree.
Greg Williams should have gotten terminated, should have gotten fired. Fucking Adam Gase, once they were mathematically eliminated, they should have got rid of him. They should have got Tom. They should have got rid of him because
I'm not disagreeing, but who coaches the team
now? Look at the. It doesn't matter. I don't care who coaches the team, but look at the Jet defense now. They're playing so much better without Greg Williams. And I'm not saying that they're scaring anybody. Don't get me wrong, please. Okay, but you know what? I'm not going to be surprised they win 3 in a row.
No, I won't be surprised either.
Okay, with the way that the Patriots are playing and the way that the Jets are playing, if I had money to bet on that game, which I do, I'm just not going to waste it.
Yeah.
I would fucking bet the Jets.
Hey, Leonard, good night, Leonard. Happy New Year to you, Welton. Yes, we'd be honored to be on your show whenever you get going. We'd love to be a part of Leonard Anthony's New York Revisited. Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and have a good New Year, Leonard. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, and we'll have you on again soon.
Absolutely. Good man there, Leonard Torselli. Good family. So, Jeff, it's a strange time at the end of this year. We'll break down the Jets and the Giants more maybe after the season's over. We'll kind of go through a little bit more.
If you don't want to bring another word up about them right now, that's fine because
no.
We're probably better off ripping them the fuck apart next week at this time.
And we're probably going to do that. I mean, I want to see, to me, it's a process, but yeah, I'd like to break them down. But, for right now, do I think the Giants have had a successful season? No, but I think they've changed a lot about the team. They've got some good leaders now, guys like Logan Ryan and Blake Martinez, Daniel Jones to a certain extent. I think they've kind of found a combination on the offensive line. I love the culture of the team. There's some really good stuff. Does that translate to next year? No, it doesn't. Do I think they need to keep the continuity and keep Gettleman? Yeah, I do. I think bringing another GM in may change the philosophy. I think Gettleman's got to sink or swim, and I think there's been enough improvement that Gettleman's got to stay. I know you disagree.
No, I think the only thing that you got on your team
worthwhile
at this point in time is Joe Judge.
I disagree with that. I think there's a lot of good on this team.
I think Joe Judge is actually the right coach and should get at least another year, if not 2, to see what he could do with the Giants. Gettleman has not put any additions onto this team. Dude, possibly his best signing was signing Leonard Williams to the franchise tag. What does Leonard Williams do? Goes out and has a fucking career year. To the point where now maybe he can't even be signed by the Giants.
No, I think that's a great point. But I think at this point, Leonard Williams won't be back because he's going to get a big, huge contract. And I would not give him I would give him a 4 or 5 year deal, no problem. But I'm not giving him big bucks because we can't afford it.
Unfortunately, this is how it goes.
I agree.
NFL. And that being said, okay, I want you to remember and think of this. All right. He's going to get money from somebody. Somebody is going to throw the kitchen sink at this guy.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay? If he stays healthy through the next game, his last game, okay, especially if he somehow reaches double digits in sacks, somebody is going to go after him with big money.
Agreed.
And then there's going to be a drop off with the Giants on defense.
I disagree that there's a lot of talent on that defensive line with Dalvin Tomlinson, with Dexter Lawrence, even BJ Hill. I still like. There's a lot of talent on that inside. I would love to have Leonard Williams back at the right price because I think he's done a good job, a really good job. The sacks don't even bother me. It's nice to see, but he gets a lot of pressure and he plays great against the run. And I think he's becoming a little bit of a leader. But I'm not putting myself in cap hell for him. I think the biggest question for the Giants is a big play receiver.
Nor should you. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because he's already shown that he's had one good year.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I agree. And it's contract year. And it's on his contract year.
Yeah, which
So-
leads me to believe he could be another Muhammad Wilkerson.
Absolutely, 100%. I would agree. I agree with you 100%. He could easily go back to next year with 1 sack.
Yeah, very easy.
So, I don't fall in love with the sacks. Again, if you could pay him as a Snacks Harrison type, where it's a good inside player, but he's going to want sack leader money, and that I won't give him. You can't pay him $16 million a year.
He's too good to be Snacks. He's too good to be compared to Snacks Harrison.
I agree.
He's not good enough to be compared to like a J.J. Watt
or an Aaron Donald, because that's the position he's in. So he's going to want to be in that range, and he's not that player.
At this point in time, even Quinnen Williams.
Correct. I agree with you. Quinnen Williams took a big leap this year.
By the way,
huh?
Who I believe that I'm going to end up being completely wrong.
I agree with you. I think I was leery of him, but you were flat out against him this year.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he slowly. But if you notice what he did, he fucking came on. Okay, did really good, and nobody noticed. Nobody noticed.
He was he's on a bad team. He's played really well on a bad team that nobody watched.
He's on a bad team. You think he would show more because he'll be like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, nobody watched.
If he continues to play, okay, at the way he's going, I think that he's going to be better than fucking Aaron Donald.
That's a tough one right now. He's got to do a lot more. I mean, potentially, you're right. I won't argue that.
Got the chance to do it.
Big guy can move. He was a baby. You said that the day he got drafted, how much of a baby he looked like that night in the suit.
Yeah, because he was also like 20, 21 years old. He
He looked like the guy who went to his father's closet and got dressed when he was 8 years old. I mean, that's what he looked like. But again, you're right. So there's some good stuff on the Jets. I think there's some stuff to break down. Here's the thing for the Jets: you're bringing in a new coach? Are you scrubbing things? Donald's gone. Are you giving the coach the option to say bring him back and don't? I think if Sam Darnold comes back next year as the Jets quarterback or as a potential Jets quarterback, Jet fans are going to shit through a hat, and God forbid he gets off to a rough start or gets hurt. I think you're gonna, it's gonna blow up. I think it's time to. God
forbid he gets off to a rough start, and every single one of those fucking guys that were drafted in the first round, ends up looking like they're going to fucking Canton, halfway point of the season. Okay, I think that they'll storm fucking MetLife Stadium, and they're just gonna fucking kill.
Yeah, I agree with that, but. There is the likelihood, and I don't think it's far-fetched to say that he could go to Chicago, New Orleans, New England, and really be a Tannehill or better type. He's got to.
I don't know. Listen, he's bad for a reason, okay? And it's because he's not progressing. And yes, he's not on the team or with the people to help him progress.
There's the point.
But you would think that he would naturally progress on some levels. Down to the next receiver. Don't just stay focused. This is like him, like that. On the same guy. To go look that, look this, or he don't do that.
Yeah.
He just stays. He doesn't do that. He got better. He can make plays out of the pocket. Yes. He doesn't have a cannon of an arm.
Yeah.
He's good. But like if you think about him, like instead of being up here, he's like this, like this, like this, like that. You know what I mean? Like
I gotcha.
He's better than average, but not great. There's no reason to say like we could do this guy's workable. Where does he go to be work? He's there 3 years, Tom. He's also missed time every one of the years in the league so far.
No, I think he's won his welcome out here. I agree with you. I think there's a scenario that he'll be back. I think there's a scenario for it. But
it's called the New York Jets.
Yeah, but I also think that there's a good possibility he can wind up in a place like New England and thrive, or a place like Sean Payton in New Orleans and be a better than reasonable quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to be a Joe Flynn. How are you? I don't think he's going to be an elite quarterback, but I do believe there's an outside chance.
Listen, as far as New Orleans go, they're fucking hell bent on that fucking kid. What's his name? Stedman? Not Stedman. That's New England.
Mason Stedman. Oh yeah. Which guy? Oh, Jay Tanum. Tansom Hill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. They seem you start him over Jameis Winston. I understand why you start Jameis Winston, but Jameis Winston is at least a quarterback. This guy here is kind of like a fucking Swiss Army knife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think. Listen, I he got better. I saw a couple games where he actually looked like a quarterback, but
he's not.
I'm not buying. I'm agreeing with you. I'm not buying it. To me, but I understand not playing. Jameis Winston, the guy is a turnover machine.
Of course he is. I understand that. But once again, he is a natural quarterback. This other guy is a receiver, is a tight end, is a fullback, is a quarterback. He's a little bit of everything. This isn't street football. This is the NFL.
No, I think he's a nice piece of the puzzle.
All over the place.
Yeah, I think he's a nice piece of the puzzle. I think he's a guy you want on your roster because he's not the third string quarterback. He's your tight end. He's your he plays special teams. He does it all. And then you get to a spot where you need him, he's there.
He's exactly. But you know what? That's also the guy that gets fucking hurt.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree.
You know, it's also the guy he gets hurt. So
no, I listen. I agree with you on that. And I'm not. If I was a New Orleans fan going into next year with Tamsin Hill as my quarterback, I'd be a little bit leery of what my team's going to look like next year.
Yeah, but not as leery as if I was going with Sam Darnold.
But again, Sam Darnold. Again, I agree with you. I wouldn't want him as my quarterback right now, but I think the guy's got some ability. Did he wind up in the wrong place with the wrong coaches, with no receiving core, no real running back to can we blame that a little bit? A little bit, sure.
To an extent, yeah. But you know what? Look at Tom Brady. Okay, we said this before. Tom Brady made others around him better.
Absolutely right. But Tom Brady's the greatest of all time.
Oh, is he? I don't know.
Yeah,
I still know.
Yeah.
No.
Look at this year alone. Went to another team, took them to the playoffs, 10 going up on maybe 11 wins. Playoffs. Listen, again, you can say what you want. All time greatest. Well, Hard Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tom having some fun here. New Year's Rocket Eve here at the Hard Rocket Sports Show.
Don't say that. Come on, man. That's so wrong. That's so wrong.
Because
remember that it is New Year's Eve. It's not right. Not right.
I got you. I agree with you on that. It is wrong. We're going to turn on.
They used to fucking wheel him out there once a year and probably put him in the corner. Like, just sit there and drool.
I have to tell you, that probably is one of the most disturbing, to watch a guy who basically was, America's teenager through his 60s, and all of a sudden they were kind of wheeling him out there. Holy cow. It was frightening. I mean, listen, I understand why he wanted to do it, but boy, that was
attached to a piece of plywood so that he could stand up straight.
Yeah, I have to tell you, I'm trying. Give me the thing that's most depressing, that's changed, from our youth. To me, that's up there. Like if I think about the things that I was so used to seeing every year, and then all of a sudden it was gone, that's got to be right at the top of my list, right there.
Tom, every day,
I
find another reason to say to myself, "What the fuck." Every day, whether it's a store closing, or somebody dying, TV show going off the air, whatever it is, every single day, life is changing. And right now, at this point in time, it really ain't changing for the best because of everything that's going on in the fucking world. Okay, it is such a sad state that it's almost like, I wish I could go to bed and wake up in a year, or however long it's going to take, and then be like, you know what, it's all back to normal. People ain't fighting about who the president is and what's going on, and you know what I mean? What's up, Mr. James? How are you, sir? It's James Daniel Neal. No, sorry, from the Carpenters.
I see that.
There's a lot of things that it's like, well, when does it just go back to normal? Somewhat.
Yeah, that's the question. Is it ever going to go back to normal? That's the question. Even when things get I think you brought this up. I think it was a great point. I want to talk about 2020. Well, it's a great segue to it, Jeff. Great job. Hard Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tom, I'm celebrating New Year's Eve here at the 2020 Year's End Show. Thanks for stopping by. We've had a lot of fun so far in the first hour and a half. We got about another hour to go. But why, Jeff? If everybody takes the vaccine, or a lot of people start taking it, do they have to wear a mask? Do we have to keep wearing masks?
Yeah.
When is it okay to go back to what we were and what we do?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I don't know if you're ever going to see. I feel bad for fucking people that aren't married at this point in time, Tom, or don't have a girlfriend, because now you're out, you meet somebody with a mask on and shit, And it's going to be like, a mail order bride or one of these arranged marriages. That when all of a sudden you see the other person with no mask on and be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I have to tell you, I think we're lucky. In fact, I'll say I'm lucky because I think had it not been for this show and what we do every week, and we were doing a couple shows a week for a while.
Yeah.
I think it helped me keep my sanity, especially for the 2 months that I was sick and then out of work for a while. It helped me keep my sanity, but not everybody has this where we can kind of say, hey, let's crank up a show and talk and blow off some steam. What for you, Jeff? What was the worst part of the year? Besides, listen, I know the money aspect for a lot of people, but there was, let's learn on. You had COVID, we had the social injustice, George Floyd, defund the police, bogus elections, no concerts, sports were upended. To you, when you think of 2020, what's the first thing that's going to pop into your brain?
Listening to everybody complain about half the shit you just said.
Okay.
It's like, shut the fuck up about it already. It happened. You're not going to change it. But yet there's people that are still fucking complaining about it. Stop. Just accept what happened and move on, because you could complain about COVID. You're not going to change it. You could complain about the election. You're not going to change it. You could complain about businesses closing, about not being able to go out and so much as sit down for a slice of pizza at lunchtime, going out with a mask on. You could complain about all of this stuff. It's not going to change unless everybody comes out of their house at the same time and says, fuck you, I ain't doing it. It's not going to change. It's not going to change. And you're just going to have to keep doing it day in and day out. Got to go to work, put your mask on. Got to go to the store, put your mask on. You know what I mean? That's all there is to it. It doesn't really matter who you voted for president. Okay? When they turned around and they said, well, we're going to have extended elections. Well, that should have been something to think about at that point in time. Never before that I know of did they have elections that lasted, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they wonder why there was like 75 trillion votes. Well, what did you think was going to happen? You gave everybody every fucking option under the sun to go vote.
Yeah.
Except even they may even said that they'd pick you up and take you there. I don't remember.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
So it's just like, between not being able to go to certain places, not being able to play. Kid James Daniel, he opened up the club every Wednesday night where Red Rum used to go practice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't get to see those guys no more. I don't get to see Red Rum anymore and jam with them. I don't get to see James. I think I've seen him twice since the pandemic started. Okay, it's your circle of friends got way smaller.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get to see anybody. That is a handsome logo, by the way.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it made this was one of my Christmas presents, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, it looks good. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. At first, when I first saw it, I didn't realize that it was a new football helmet.
Yes, it's a new version of the football helmet. I'm actually I'm talking to a company. I'm going to have a few mini helmets made up. Look for that.
Nice.
So you'll have one under your tree shortly.
Speaking of trees, let me see. I got this right here.
Let me get out of the share screen.
I still got my tree up.
Oh, nice. Is the regular size tree up still too?
Everything is still up.
Me too. Yeah, I have everything.
At least Little Christmas.
I'm debating it, Jeff. To be honest with you, I think this weekend it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be warm out. I don't know if it's gonna be beautiful, but it's gonna be warm. So I'm debating dragging everything down. I was gonna wait till next weekend, but I might kill it off after this weekend, maybe before the Giant game. I'm not sure.
Nah, leave it up for the Giant game, man.
No, it may also be causing a hex.
Let me tell you something. If you take it down and the Giants lose, you're going to be upset.
There we go. Oh boy.
If the Giants lose, you're going to be upset. You're going to be upset. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, yeah, folks, we got a new logo. I love it. I think it's amazing. It's up in the corner. I'm sure you guys can see it. We'll have some shirts and some hats. Somebody approached me and said, you should open up a Hard Rocket Sports store and sell all this stuff. And I said, you know what? It sounds nice, but I really have a hard time charging people or asking people to buy. First of all, I think some people might buy it just because it's you and me, and
what do you give a fuck?
I feel uncomfortable. I like to be able to say, here's a shirt. Here's some pics.
There's still some people that you could do that with. But if you're paying $7 a shirt and you're selling them for $10 a shirt, and you're using the money to go right back into the Hard Rock and Sports idea, then there's nothing wrong with it. You got to the point where it's paying for itself. That's a good thing, man. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'll talk to you off the air about it. I'm like I said, I get a little funny because I've had a lot of people, hey, Tom, I want a shirt. Tell me how much, and I'm like, I can't charge you.
Buy the shirts. Give me the box. I'll have no problem telling somebody, give me $10. I'll give you a shirt. You want a shirt that bad? Give me $10. You don't want a shirt? When you want a hamburger, you go to the store, you buy a hamburger, right?
That's true.
Want Chinese food? You call up the Chinese place, you tell them this is what I want, you send it over, right?
That's true.
You want a shirt? $10.
Yeah, it's I think especially with this new logo, I think it's a killer. I don't know how it's going to wind up on a shirt yet. I'm waiting for the guy to send me an idea of what it's going to look like on a shirt. But I'm telling you, I'm ready to put the logo on mug.
Let's look at Will Cloak. Will Cloak, how are you, by the way? Will Cloak, a gentleman. The first thing he says, I want a shirt, I'll pay.
Nah, again, there's certain people, like you said,
already buttering up Tommy Will, but not even saying, hey guys, what's up? I want a shirt, I'll pay. Tom, I see what you're doing. Will Cloak, I'm only busting balls, bro.
Hey, Patrick says he'll pay for it. I
don't even know Patrick. Patrick 3X sizes are like they start at $45.99.
Yeah, it's funny. Will Cloak basically. Will and I talked. Will's going to actually come on and host a show with us in February, I think.
Oh, that'd be cool.
He wants to do a grunge. I think it's a grunge show, which I think we right up your alley.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
He wants to kind of talk about the grunge era. I thought it'd be great. So when Will's got some time off, he's going to talk to us, and we're going to kind of do a show with him. And
the best part, I'm sure that somebody in the grunge world died in February, without a doubt. There were so many of them axed themselves. One of them had to die in February.
Yeah, it's very possible. And our boy Al Albanese wants to do another round of TV shows. I'm thinking about. I'd like to think about trying to do it. So we have to talk about if we're interested in doing that.
Sure, man. We got to see. Where's this going to happen? Are we just going to go sit in someplace in a park or whatever? Because
I'm thinking Panino's type of thing. I think Panino's will kind of keep separate a little bit, but I think we should think about having some fun while we're alive and kicking and do it.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it. But you may see a Hard Rock and Sports Store show up.
Flex to hold my muscles.
Maybe there's more of a market. What do you guys think? Hold on, let me put it back up. What do you guys think of the new logo? I've got some good comments. What do you guys think? I think this is a pretty good representation. What do you? Let's see if I can make it bigger. No, but it actually got smaller. I think. I think it's a really nice job. If you guys get a tattoo, go down to Richmond Tattoo and Vintage on Van Duzer Street, right off of Beach. And see Jeremy Nieves. He designed it. He did the original logo, and now he did this one for us. So get down there, take a look, and if you need a tattoo, that's the kind of work Jeremy does, man. So maybe you should get this tattooed on your butt.
Who?
You?
Me? No.
I think you should get this tattooed on you, or maybe on the head of your Swanson.
That helmet's probably too big for that. That helmet's too big for my helmet. What you should do is you should get that right here. Right here. That would be cool.
I should go like Mike Tyson style and just get like the helmet itself and like the logos on the side of my head. Like I have a permanent helmet on my head.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I'm sure that's going to score you some loving at home when the wife sees that.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Guys, there'll be some shirts coming out. I'm definitely going to do around the shirts. I just don't know what colors it's going to work out of, but I will send them out to you guys for sure. You guys will get shirts, and Lou will get you the extra slim one. Lou will get you this extra slim one. Slender you down a little bit.
Do they make one in Lycra?
Yeah.
I'm sure if you're sporting a 3X, you need a Lycra shirt, man.
Hey, Patrick, I wear my shirt around the 55 and older community here, so don't worry, buddy. You will represent. Guys, let's hope for a better 21. But, Jeff, when I think back to this year, I think the thing that's going to pop up to me, and I know COVID's obviously the easy answer, but I think it's all the defund of the police shit. All the riots and George Floyd and, the wokeism. I think that the country took a major shift, and a lot of people, liberal or not, disliked it. I think sports took a major hit because of it. The NFL ratings were down 7%. They were actually giving money back to their advertisers because it was so bad. Basketball is restarted without any mention of the social justice stuff. I think that's what's going to remember for me, that we took such a leap left that it was actually scary that people were actually talking about doing away with the cops. And I think we got a real brush with what life could be like if more politicians were allowed to do that, Jeff.
Well, listen, dude, it's here. It's happening. There's not much more that you're going to do to change things. It's a completely new way of life between a different president and a different way of thinking and a different way of looking at things. It's not going to be what it once was. And
No.
that's the shame of it, man.
Yeah, and if you're a cop out there, I think there's a lot of trepidation about being proactive, and I think that's people. I'm hoping that the future police are not less quality. I think it's harder and harder to get great cops out there that want to do the job for the money, especially in the big cities like New York. So I think that for me has been the big thing. Taking a look back and seeing where the riots and the wokeism and white privilege and again, I think what people found out, especially sports, again, was, and even TV to a certain extent, is you can't sit there and tell half your audience or more than half your audience that you need to be re-educated and you're a racist just because you're of a different color. And I think sports in general got a big kick in the ass, and I don't think you're going to see a lot of that going forward.
I don't think they can do it anymore, Tom. I mean, it's unbelievable the things that were said, the things that were done, and it's like, and the way it just happened, it's like somebody put on a switch and it just happened.
Yeah.
It's like, it can't be that way. You can't, like you just said, tell people, well, you've been wrong for the last 20, 30 years because you felt this way.
Yeah.
You can't say all lives matter because that's racist. How is that racist? So in other words, Black Lives Matter, that's the only lives that count is Black lives, right? Is that correct? Because you can't say all lives matter because they don't. Only Black lives matter. And some of the ridiculousness that was being said for a while about we're going to have to pay reparations and, somebody's going to be paying these people money because of slaves that were owned fucking 200 years ago almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's some sick shit, man. It really is some sick shit.
Yeah, and again, I don't think it's gone away. I think you might not hear as much about it, but it's not going to go away. And there are organizations like Black Lives Matter, the organization, who are yelling and screaming and bitching and complaining because they want to see the table. They've made it clear they helped Joe Biden get elected by any means necessary, and now they want to see at the table. Now the question is, do they get one? And when they do, what's the influence? I think from the sports end of it, I think they got a kick in the ass because they saw that. Basketball took a huge hit in the ratings. Nobody cared. Most people don't care. Baseball took a hit in the pants because they very early on, had that message. I'll be curious to see if they come back with it next year. Basketball has eliminated the social justice, and I'm curious what happens with football going forward. Will they have that same? I watched last Friday night's game, Saints Vikings, I think it was, and they showed the national anthem, which they don't do very much anymore, and there was a bunch of players kneeling. And it turned me off. I shut off the game for a while and came back later on. But again, I think the sports in general took a really big beat. Somebody said the other day, I read an article where they were talking about, even though people were stuck in their house, it's no surprise football ratings are down because people were tired of TV. And I said, that makes no sense to me. You're waiting all year for sports. Everybody loves football. You can't go to the game. So 80,000 people who would go to a game in each city, minus times 30 times 16 cities, were home, and your ratings were 7% less. And on some weeks, Jeff, much, to me, that's just people making excuses for the fact that football turned off a large part of their audience.
Well, of course they turned off a large part of the audience. That's just common sense. Of course they did.
Yeah.
You can't do the things that you did and say the things that you say and expect everybody to be like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
This matters. This is what I need to be. I need to be belittled because I'm white, and I should do everything for others, other races, and put them first.
Yeah.
I don't count. That's what we need to get shirts to say, I don't count.
Yeah, I guess you're right. And here's another thing I'll never understand. And I'm gonna take it to New York because I don't live in California with Gavin Newsom, that moron, or with the one in Michigan or some of these other cities. We have to have two of the dumbest people running our state and city that I've ever seen. And here's what I can't figure out, Jeff. You explain it to me. Why does Andrew Cuomo hate the restaurant industry? Why does Bill de Blasio hate the restaurant industry? Why are they singling out those people to be to crucify, to basically put out of business? What sense has anything they've done to that industry made any sense to us?
Tom, that is an excellent question. All I could tell you is that we're in the final days of Bill de Blasio as
another year.
That's one thing, another year, but it's 1 year less.
Yeah,
it's 1 year. It's a countdown that we're on. Okay, Cuomo probably torpedoed his own fucking campaign to come back. If he wins again, I'd be fucking shocked. I'd be absolutely shocked. I do not know. All I can tell you is that 2 months ago, me and my wife went out with Paul and Julia.
Yeah.
To a place called the Capitol Grill. We went to go see the tree, and then we went to the Capitol Grill.
Right.
The Capitol Grill is a very, very nice restaurant, an exclusive restaurant, if you will.
Okay.
Okay. Great food, this, that, and the other thing. They sat us in a 3-sided tent. One side was pretty much completely open. The other 3 sides were closed, of course, with the roof.
Yeah.
And they had heaters in there. And there was like 8 tables, but there was only 4 heaters. So it's like if you didn't get a heater, you were fucked. Now, we also went probably on the coldest night of the winter so far.
Okay, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
We were freezing our nuts off, and it was as cold as a motherfucker.
Right.
But you know what? It is what it is. We were like, you had a few drinks, you helped warm you up a little bit, but it was like, I must have went to the bathroom about 10 times just so that I could keep going inside to get warm.
Yeah.
And I do not know why they want that. Saks Fifth Avenue, for the first time ever of going up to go see the tree year after year after year, Saks Fifth Avenue plays their display, like the part of the building that faces the tree.
Right.
Okay. I never knew that there were window displays there. I just thought it was
really
on the building because I never saw them.
Right.
And Julia turned around and said, "Oh yeah, they have some great windows this year." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, they got windows? They got window displays, Christmas window displays?" And she's like, "Yeah, you didn't know that?" And I'm like, "No, I never knew that because there were so many people there. There was so little people out. So many, like there wasn't many people at the tree. There wasn't many people in the restaurants. It was dead. My wife would come home. It's dead every day. And I'm like, it's going to change. It's going to change. It's going to change. Every day that passes by is a little bit more of a blow that I don't think it's ever going to recover to the way that it is. And if it does, it may take 10 years, if not more, for it to recover fully.
Well, I think
that's if they stopped it today.
I think it's only partially COVID, Jeff. I think the other problem is the culture of the city based on our current leadership. And here's the problem. What I'm watching on the other side running right now with Andrew Yang throwing his hat in the ring, Eric Adams, Stringer, I think we're doomed. I mean, maybe if this guy Scott Lepato, this artist, I don't know anything about his politics. I know he's conservative. I also know Curtis Lewer's throwing his hat. I think he's going to throw his hat in the ring.
Scott Lepato is big on Staten Island.
Yeah, he's a painter, right?
Yeah, he was the guy, Citizen Scott. He was painting all of the. He painted the flag on Bone Music.
Oh, okay. So again, you pray for one of these guys. I don't know if they're any good.
I never mind praying for one of those guys. I don't know if anybody like that guy in particular is anybody even going to know him off of Staten Island.
That's the problem. Yeah, but
he thinks that people know him all over the place, but I don't know.
I have no idea. To be honest with you, Jeff, I had never heard of the guy until the last 3-4 months. Now I live in Jersey, but I'm friends with enough people on Staten Island, Facebook, whatever. I had never heard his name until a few months ago when he was painted the blue line down Highland Boulevard or something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who's going to end up being running again. All I know is just that de Blasio can't run.
Yeah, thank God.
He's fucking done.
Thank God.
Who the next one is, but we just got to wait and see. That's the best I could tell you.
Yeah.
And they'll start to appear probably after the first of the year. You'll start picking up steam.
Oh, absolutely. And again, here's the problem. Will the next guy be worse? Will the next person, it could be a female, will the next person be actually worse? You went from I think it was A-Beam to Koch to Dinkins. It went from bad to worse to worse. But with Dinkins being the worst mayor I had ever seen up until now. And then Giuliani came in, and it was like a breath of fresh air. And it was like all of a sudden a steamroller came through and just cleaned the city up, and we were tops in the world again. And even Bloomberg came in, and while he didn't screw it up, he maintained. And
listen, he did his share to try to ruin it too. Bloomberg, he was a fucking idiot,
right? But when he left office, we were still in really good shape. And then your boss showed up.
We were. But you know what? Listen, there was other things that he was looking to do, which wasn't good.
Right. So, but again, so I think beyond COVID, I think the culture in this city needs to change. And I don't know who's going to be the guy. I don't know if there's somebody here, and this city may be doomed for the next 10, 20 years. I mean, it's depressing driving through Manhattan, stores closed everywhere. Murals that I don't even want to talk about painted on the ground and everywhere.
It's a shame, dude. It's a shame. Yeah. You're not going to get it to change.
No, not immediately. Again, you know what? You would need a Trump type guy to come in and just say, I could care less what anybody thinks. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm not saying Trump. I'm just saying a Trump like guy, a Giuliani type who just says, screw you. You can hate my guts. You can take shots at me, but I'm gonna change the culture of the city, and I don't care who I offend. And that's the guy you need. But is that guy out there, Jeff? I don't know.
I know one thing, Tom.
Yeah.
I know one thing. That guy is not on this list.
Well,
that I know.
Well, we're gonna end this segment of the show. We're gonna get back to the NFL playoffs, maybe a little music stuff, but we're gonna bring out 2020. And again, Jeff, I opened the show, and I know you missed the beginning by saying, "Cute Jeff." Yes, I know that he's got a great point. Lou's got a great point.
I don't really give a fuck what Lou says and what he thinks, and I really don't give a fuck.
But you can't argue with
when that guy comes on and he says, you know what, I'm going to give you guys this raise. Well, guess what? He's got my vote. Con Edison don't want to give a fuck who the mayor is, or
I got you, but he's
my mortgage.
He does say
I'm saying I don't give a fuck what he says and thinks.
Well, Louis right, but
that's okay.
I opened the show by saying that there can't be a person alive who actually is disappointed. There's some years you go, man, this was a great year. I wish you had another month. Or, this is a year I don't think anybody out there is sitting there saying, I can't wait for it to not be over. I think we're all excited about changing the year. Does 2021, Jeff, make it any better because it's not 2020 anymore? I don't know. I don't know.
Right now, it's just an extension. It's the 13th month.
Yeah.
2020, because when you go to the store, you still need a mask on. You can't go eat with your wife.
Yeah.
You can't be in a place where there's more than when two other people or whatever it is now. Who knows?
Yeah.
So, you can't have you can't have anybody that's not in your household. They change it every day. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah. Luckily here in Jersey, I was supposed to go to dinner tomorrow night, but my parents can't make it now. So we've canceled our plans. I got a half a day.
90 seconds.
We're going to come home. I'm going to pick up my wife from work. We're going to stop at one of the local delis, pick up some food, go home, probably get blind stinking drunk, buy a guitar online, and pass out before the ball stops, before the ball drops.
I got to work. I got to work tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, and I got to work Friday.
Oh.
But because of the holiday, tomorrow will be 8.5 hours overtime.
Nice.
Thanks, Billy.
There you go.
And seconds.
Friday will be time and a half too, with a day off, so that comes out to double time and a half. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
I got you.
That's going to be for me.
Goodbye.
At least an extra $750 for just going to work for 2 days.
Well, listen,
regular pay.
There you go, and that's and I'm happy for you. But you voted for De Blasio, and
that's fine.
You've caused a nightmare.
That vote cost me almost $1,000 in 2 days.
Well, again, Jeff,
when
Lewis is
Bloomberg,
right.
when Bloomberg was making it that I couldn't work certain things and couldn't get overtime and everything else. So
I got you. Listen, we all have our priorities, and I get it, and rightfully so. You should have your priorities in life. I can't wait for De Blasio, but I am a little cautious on who's actually going to replace him because it could be worse. It could be worse.
I don't know about that, Tom.
It could be worse.
I don't know about that. I don't think it can get any worse than it already.
Eric Adams gets in, for sure it's going to be worse.
Well,
So I'll just say same liberal bullshit with a chip on his shoulder. But again, we'll get into politics more later on. We're going to ring out 2020. We hope 21 is a better year. We're going to be here through 21, I hope, as long as Jeff and I stay healthy. And we got a lot of stuff, a lot of great guests coming up. We got some swag coming. But we do have to end 2020 a certain way. And Jeff does it every year. And it's unfortunate. I think feels like this year, maybe because we were so wrapped up at home that we paid more attention to it. But it seems like we've lost more and more people in the music and entertainment industry. And Jeff does his list every year.
I'll tell you the truth, Tom. There was a lot of people, of course, that went. But there were some big names. But there wasn't like other years where there was like a huge amount of big names. But there was enough. There was enough.
All right, well, we'll turn it over to you, and you can go ahead and read your list of the people who passed, the celebrities who passed.
All right, so let's start off with today's entry on the dead list, Dawn Wells.
Now, do you mind if along the way, if I stop, maybe we have a comment or two about some of the people?
Yeah, of course, man.
Okay.
But, let's start off with the newest member of the Dead Society, Dawn Wells, Marianne from Gilligan's Island.
Sad. Jeff, were you a Ginger or Marianne person growing up?
While that show was on, it really didn't matter. It could have been Mrs. Howell. It didn't matter.
Okay, gotcha.
I had resiliency that I don't have now.
We can all have that claim. But go ahead, Jeff. Yeah. Continue.
Charlie Pride swallowed it and went down the tubes. David Prowse, the man that played Darth Vader. Alex Trebek, everybody's favorite game show host. Sean Connery, Eddie Van Halen. Enough can't be said about Eddie Van Halen.
Again, greatest guitar player probably of our lifetime, and an innovator, and that's a guy can never be replaced, never be changed.
Some guy, Chadwick. I can't see his last name because the way I wrote it, so I have no idea what it said.
Chadwick Boswaite. I know. Actually, a very good actor. Played the Steel Panther character.
Yes.
Played a whole bunch. Played Jackie Robinson. Really good actor. You know, I thought it was made a little too much. Like they made it out to like he was, Marlon Brando, but a good actor. It's a shame.
Black Marlon Brando, I guess you would say, because
very young, 40-something years old, very young guy.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Little Richard, Regis Philbin.
Kobe, again, tragedy, but try to flying a helicopter in the fog is not a great idea, Kobe.
No, definitely not. Cliff Robinson, another NBA star. Yep. Diana Rigg from Game of Thrones. Wilford Brimley.
I never saw Game of Thrones, just for the hell of, just so you know. I never watched it, not a single episode.
You're missing out, man. Missing out. I don't know why you would want to do that to yourself, but you're missing out. Wilford Brimley, who other than saying diabetes funny, did he do anything else?
Again, good actor. Favorite movie of his, Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme. He faked his way through a New Orleans French accent. Funniest thing you ever want to see.
It sounds like I'm better off not seeing it. Peter Green, one of the original members of Fleetwood Mac. Kelly Preston, Jerry Stiller, Fred Willard.
Jerry Stiller, one of the funniest people of all time. Two great characters, but the guy's been around 100 years.
Well, same thing with Fred Willard.
No,
Final face, but if you seen him, you would be like, "Holy shit, this guy is in there. He's over there. He's over here."
Yeah, one of the great character actors of all time.
Yeah, Bob Kulick, Nick Gordon. You know who Nick Gordon is?
I have no idea who Nick Gordon is.
You know who Bobby Christina Brown is?
That would be Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston's daughter, correct?
Yes, who I believe also died of a drug overdose in a bathtub.
Correct. Yes, very, very eerie. Who is Nick Gordon, by the way?
Well, Nick Gordon was tapping Bobby Christina Brown, and he is no more either.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Don Lawson, Neil Peart,
Now, Neil Peart, we got to talk about for a second. Now, here's a guy who may be the greatest drummer of all time, at least rock drummer of all time. Recluse, guy who probably didn't enjoy being a celebrity, and probably going to go down as one of the biggest things I will say I never got to do was see Rush live. I should have gotten off my ass and saw Rush live once. One of those bands that you kind of had to see that I missed.
Well, you definitely missed that one. You won't be punching that ticket. One of the first wrestlers on the list, Rocky Johnson.
One of my favorites, a guy we saw live.
Yes, we did.
I actually saw him in Great Adventure sitting in the stands at a show back in like early 80s, 81, 82. But Rocky Johnson, a very underrated wrestler, Jeff.
Huge. The guy was huge, if I remember. He was a monster.
Him and Tony Atlas, great combination.
Yep. Kirk Douglas at 103 years old. I believe our only Centurion on the list. Kenny Rogers, he knew when to fold them, and that was in 2020.
Good chicken, Jeff. Good chicken.
Yes. Fred Curly Neal from the Harlem Globetrotters.
Now, there's something from our youth that you took for granted. The Harlem Globetrotters is not the same, maybe because we grew up, but, Meadowlark Lemon and Curly Neal and Goose Tatum and all those guys were the best of the bunch. Great job.
Jeremy, I can't predict, but the guy that played Boba Fett in Star Wars, he is no longer with us.
Sorry, Jeremy.
Yes, sorry. Sorry to his parents. We could not write your name easier, so fuck you.
Yeah.
Tiny Lister. Tiny Lister, Zeus. Do yourself a favor when you get a chance. Go on YouTube and put in Zeus versus Hulk Hogan. The guy could not move, could not walk because of the outfit that they had him in.
Oh, really?
Hulk Hogan is hitting him with a chair, and Zeus was impervious to everything. And how was the Hulkster supposed to beat that? Somehow he did.
Hulkster always seem to drop the leg and win, Jeff.
Yeah. David Lander, Diego Maldonado.
David Lander, Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley. Again, another guy with a link to Spinal Tap because he was Michael McKean's first, as far as I'm concerned, music partner and one of the funniest characters of all time.
Diego Maradona.
Diego Maradona, part of the hand of God. Yes, great. One of the great soccer players of all time.
Conchata Farrell.
Berta from Two and a Half Men.
Yep. Whitey Ford
again, greatest pitcher in Yankee history probably, and maybe underrated. Not talked about always in the top 5 or 10 pitchers, but guy won forever, 236 wins. Go for it, yeah.
Johnny Nash,
to be honest with you, at the end of his life, not one of the nicer guys I've ever met. I got the chance to be about 5 feet from him in Cooperstown, and he couldn't have been more of an asshole.
Who, Whitey Ford?
Whitey Ford, just for the record. Yep.
Helen Reddy. I Am Woman, Hear Me Die. Matt Davis. Gail Sayers. Now, there's a guy who was, I wish had a chance to have a full career and more people got to see. Great running back. Yeah. Joseph Laurinaitis, Animal from the Road Warriors. Whose son played pro football. Great football player himself. Okay. Pamela Hutchinson, who was in The Emotions, a band called The Emotions. I remember them out when I was in the 70s. Okay. Lou Brock. Great bass stealer. Lost art. Yep. Ian Mitchell from the Bay City Rollers. Joe Ruby, co-creator of Scooby-Doo. Now there's a loss. Scooby-Doo, one of the great cartoons of all time. Remember, guys, the Emmy TV network, January 21st starts Saturday morning cartoons again. The old school stuff. Make sure you check it out. Yeah. Jack Sherman, former Red Hot Chili Pepper guitar player. Okay. I don't know when that was. Charlie Daniels. Hugh Downs and Carl Reiner. That guy was 90-something years old doing pop-ups on the 2.5 Men show, and he was phenomenal. One of the true giants in comedy. Yeah. Okay, so now we get into some heavy metal guys that have since parted ways with us since we last did this list. Jason Rainey from Sacred Reich. Paul Chapman from UFO. Great band. Tony Costanza. Hey, did we see Chapman? Chapman was playing that night, right? Yes. Did great, man. Oh my God. I wonder what that band sounded like in their heyday when they had Shanker and that whole group. Man, great, man. Incredible. Tony Costanza from Crowbar and Machine Head, Alan Peters from Agnostic Front, Martin Birch.
Iron Maiden, yeah.
Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Another UFO alumni, Pete Way, Frankie Benali.
Pete Way was a guy, Jeff, who I think he was a bad drunk, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, Wasted wasn't a bad band and a great bass player. I mean, so many guys, it's a shame. He's almost overlooked, I guess, because of the of his issues.
Well, I don't know about that, but he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone now. No chance to fix that.
Frankie Benali.
Shame.
Lee Kerslake from Ozzy and Uriah Heep, and Leslie West.
Yeah.
Who, rushed to beat the end of the year. And
Leslie, that guy's, I think every year they chopped a different body part off. I mean,
yeah.
Amazing guitar player, Mississippi Queen, which I got to be honest, I've never been a big fan of the song. I don't know why, but amazing guitar player. But to me, Leslie West is famous for his years coming on the Howard Stern show. He was great on the Howard Stern show. While Howard Stern was actually good at that point.
If I remember right, he was like a hardcore diabetic, right?
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they chopped his legs off, or one of his legs off at one point, or his foot. He was a big man.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
And now we're down to our last couple here. We got Harold Finkel, the Fink.
Yes. Wrestling announcer.
La Parka. He was a wrestler. Do you remember him?
I don't remember him.
They made it seem like he was a big name, but I don't remember him either.
Me either.
Kamala, the Ugandan giant.
Wasn't even Ugandan.
No, he actually wasn't a giant either. I believe he was an ex-truck driver from Newark or something like that. It was pretty sick. But Pat Patterson.
Oh, yeah.
First
wrestling.
Wrestler.
Yeah.
Of all time. There was no need for them to tell us that, man.
No. You know what? I agree with you on that one. I agree.
And Shad Gaspard, he was a member of a tag team,
okay,
a black tag team in the WWE, and him and his son was swimming someplace, and the rescuers got to him first instead of his son.
Okay,
and he told them to leave him and to go get his son, and he was swept away and. Like 2 or 3 days later.
Oh, what a shame.
Sacrificed himself so that his son would live. But,
crazy.
What could you do?
Got to be a tough way to go, Jeff. Got to be. I'm sure there's no good way to go, but that's got to be a tough way. You're sitting there and you're trying to stay afloat and you're sinking. And then as you're sinking, you're swallowing water. And, that's got to be a long death, unfortunate.
Yeah. Listen, I don't want to think about it myself either. That's why I don't go in anything with water in it other than the shower.
And even that we got to push you into sometimes.
Yeah, and I got a life jacket on and a boat there. But,
guys, Hard Rocket Sports, that's the unfortunate thing we do every year. Jeff reads the list, and we kind of remember some of these people. Some of them will be remembered forever. Guys like Whitey Ford are in the Hall of Fame, and Leslie West's music will live forever. It's the Chad Gaspars and the La Parkers, who kind of fall, maybe the Finkels, other than their family, may fall through the cracks. So we like to kind of make sure that we broach it every year and read their name aloud.
Unless you've achieved celebrity status,
yep, you
got to think that your existence on this world is going to be forgotten at a certain time.
Sure, absolutely.
Like your grandparents, you could tell your kids stories about your grandparents if you met them.
Yep.
But once you're gone, that's it.
Absolutely, 100%.
Those people again.
100%. I listen. That's the sad part of life is unless you've done something where the record books or the school books read your name. You're basically your time here is a generation, last one generation, and then you're done.
Yeah, there's a woman that's buried in St. Peter's Cemetery on Clove Road.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were kids in the car, my father must have looked over and he was fucking with us one day. And the woman's name is Alice Gould. And he started talking in like this creepy voice. And he's like, there's Alice Gould,
Yeah.
So now every day, every time that I'm on that stretch of Clove Road and I get stuck at the light, I look over across the street at the cemetery and seek out Alice's tombstone.
Right.
Because Alice has died now like almost 90 years ago, and
Wow.
she's the only one buried in that grave. And it's like, who is Alice Gould?
Yeah.
Other than some name that my father read off, and that was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's sad because it's like nobody will ever think about her. Nobody will put anything on her grave. Nobody will put flowers on her grave. Nobody will do anything to that woman's grave. And it could have been that way from the day she died. You just don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just a shame. But I mean, listen, everybody dies, and we're all going to be in that position one day. And how you doing, Sal? Sal DeLuca saying hello.
Hey, Sal. Nice to see you, brother. Nice to see you. You missed Lenny. Lenny Torricelli was around a little while ago. He stayed for quite a while. We're glad to have everybody here. A lot of Rosemankers and a lot of people sharing the Hard Rocket Sports. Happy New Year's Eve. As we close out 2020 and look forward to a better and brighter 2021. We hope you guys will come on back next week. We start the year off the right way with a giant W and a big playoff talk next Thursday night. I can see it coming because, Jeff, I deserve it. I decided I've had a rough year. I've done the right thing for a lot of people. My Giants are going to win. The Redskins are going to lose. Yes, they're the Redskins. And I'm going to get to sit here next week with this big, huge smile when you log on. And I go, Jeff, playoff game is Sunday. We're getting together to watch it. And you're going to watch a giant playoff game sitting right next to me someplace where I could just go, Jeff, playoffs, Jeff.
And what will your reaction be if they don't make the playoffs?
Then I have to sit here and watch you come on the air with a big shit-eating grin and torture me for at least a half hour.
You know that it's going to happen.
I know it's a possibility. I don't know it's official. Yes, you're right. That's how the Beatles came up with Eleanor Rigby. You're right. Listen. Listen. 2020 is almost here and done. We got about 15 minutes left. I want to talk a little about this weekend's games. There's a lot of playoff possibilities, especially in the NFC. So I want to talk to Jeff Quick about some of the. Jeff, the NFL has decided they're going to try to do a 17th game next year.
That just makes no sense.
And it's all about money. It's all about recouping money.
But it doesn't even sound right. It doesn't even sound right.
It'll be 18 weeks.
Games.
Yeah, well, here's what they accomplish. They get more money, and the season will now go one more week. You'll finish in mid-February now, which is what they wanted forever, to finish on President's Weekend. So that Monday is a holiday. People will even be able to hang out more, go to the game more, party more because it's a holiday weekend.
And all of this means is that when Dad comes home drunk after blowing fucking junior fucking college fund on some team, and then he has to tell his wife why he smells of fucking lipstick and fucking perfume, and how come Junior's going to be going to fucking community college instead of fucking Harvard.
Yeah.
It's no good.
I got you. No, listen, fair enough. Again, we'll wake up Monday morning. The Jets will be firing Adam Gase. They may be cutting ties with Sam Darnold. I don't know if it'll be that quick. But the Giants will be celebrating a win, and we'll be talking about the playoffs officially next Thursday. So come on back when Jeff and I sit down and kind of recap the NFL season, and we'll look forward to the playoffs and the Super Bowl. There is no 17th game this year, so this will be the final week of the season. Week 17, game 16.
If the Giants don't make the playoffs,
go ahead.
Next Sunday, next week on the show, I don't want you to say a word. I want you to sit there with your little Giant hat on. I want you to pick me up, and you're going to have to listen to me for 5 minutes. Not that Giant hat. Not that Giant hat. That Giant hat. Yes. I may even have you paint your whole entire torso blue, and you could wear that hat the whole time and paint yourself blue from the waist up, face, neck, everything. Dye your hair blue, and just sit there and just let me laugh, smile, and say whatever I want about the job.
You'll have every opportunity because I'll let you, so that'll be fine. But let's get to this week. We got some games to worry about. So we talked about the NFL doing the game. To see the Dolphins, we kind of talked about. I told you I was right about the Bucs. We'll pass that. We talked about Dwayne Haskins. Here's an interesting one for this. So the Steelers are going to rest Big Ben, a lot of their players. This is a meaningful game for the Browns. Is it fair, Jeff? Because if the Browns were to lose, I believe either Colts or the Ravens. There's 2 or 3 teams that are affected by this game. If the Browns were to lose, is it fair to them that the Steelers are taking off, or should the Steelers not give a shit? Because I think it's unfair.
If I was the Steelers, I wouldn't give a shit. If I want to rest my quarterback, if I want to rest my team and start all my second stringers, I'm going to do it. I couldn't care less what and some other team thinks. I don't care if Baltimore. Let's put it this way. Let's say Baltimore has played tough against the Steelers for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So you know what? If I can knock them out without even fucking playing, so be it. You know, maybe it's the Colts. Maybe the Colts have beaten the Steelers in the last 4 out of the 5 times they played, and well, fuck you too. If you get knocked out of the playoffs because I'm not starting Big Ben and we lose, so be it. Who cares?
I get it. First off, for 2 standpoints, I don't like it. One, I don't like. I think in years and most years have proven that teams that rest the last week of the season and go into the playoffs don't do as well. It's definitely a trend. 2, I think from a competitive standpoint, you owe the league the opportunity to put your best team on the field every week and go out there and not affect the playoffs in that sense. So I disagree with it. I think the Steelers owe it to the league to play their best team. I understand what they're doing.
If they could get around that real easy, all they got to do is say is he has tightness in his throwing arm.
Agreed. Listen, I agree with you. There's a million ways they can do what you said, which is 100% right. Screw you. I'm going to do what's best for my team. Rest my quarterback who's 40-something years old, and I'm going to take a break and start. So I understand it from that standpoint. I just don't like it. If I was a head coach, I'd be playing my team straight through because I think that's you stay sharp.
10, 12 years ago, whatever it was, maybe more, the Jets were playing the Colts.
Yes.
And the Colts had a chance to go 16-0.
Yep, they sat down Peyton Manning.
They sat down a bunch of players, if I remember right, just so that they could rest. And they didn't care about going 16-0. They wanted to rest their certain players. So they gave up a chance to go in the record books so that they could rest their players. I don't remember how they fed that year in the playoffs and everything.
Yeah.
But they blatantly did it and just said, that's it. So I don't have a problem with it, man. Go ahead. Rest whoever you want to rest. Rest them all.
Yeah, listen, I get it. I get it. So, I mean, there's definitely no law against it, but we'll talk about the Dolphins. I want to talk about John Gruden a little bit. We talked about a lot of coaches who probably won't be around. I think the Bears will be looking for a coach, although the Bears had a weird season. I think they were 5-1, then 5-7, and now they're 8-7, and a chance for a playoff spot if they win, and somebody else loses. We'll get to that in a second. But they could be looking for a coach. There's multiple places that is going to
go on with that. I got to just run to the next room real quick.
Good. So I want to talk about John Gruden and how overrated as a coach he was. I'm not a firm believer in the don't score a touchdown scenario that he pulled and how they lost this game. And I'll wait till Jeff gets back. But to me, John Gruden has done nothing to basically accept the fact that he has this genius title associated with his name. 10-year, $100 million contract. The team is no better than when he took it over. I think there's been a ton of times where I've questioned his on-field play calling or moves, and this week was no different. I mean, they had a chance to go up by 6 and force them with under a minute, no touchdowns, to go down and score a touchdown. And yes, 19 seconds, no timeouts was a fluke. I get it, but it was still possible. And all they needed was a field goal to win. And that's the difference. You got to put the game away. And I disagree 100% with what he did. They deserve to lose. And I think if he wasn't John Gruden with the contract that he's got, I think he would be fired. I honestly and truly think he would be fired. I think it's 4 years now, and it has not shown any better results. And I'm going to play the clip of what has to be the craziest. It has to be the craziest play I've ever seen, Jeff. The fact that this guy was open, the fact that if you look at your boy Fitzpatrick, he never even saw how this pass got completed. Jeff, take a look at this.
Yeah, I've seen this. Unbelievable.
But, again, nobody near the guy. How he catches that pass, it was a lame duck throw. But why? Just I'm hoping they show it quick. His head is just no idea. Watch this, man. I mean, he has no idea where the ball is going to wind up at this point now. He's just throwing it up for grabs. Fitzmagic.
He's lucky he didn't get his neck broken.
Yeah. The guy's wide open. The ball's a duck. It's basically a fair catch. I mean, just insane. And John Gruden, to me, I got to tell you, any other coach, I think would be fired at this point. I really believe with the way he handled that game, he deserves to be fired, but he won't because of the contract and because of his name.
And it's a shame, but it's one of those teams that hasn't done good in a long time. Probably won't do good in a while.
Yeah.
Since Gruden came, it's like his Carr's last days. Is he going to start Mariota?
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's going to make a change. And meanwhile, Carr's still there, and everybody else is calling for the change and trying to predict when this change is going to happen. And it hasn't happened yet.
All right, so listen, we got about 5 minutes. I want to run through some of the playoff scenarios for this week real quick with you. I know you got to get up for work tomorrow, so do I. But real quick,
I got to be in tomorrow.
I'm actually I got a late start tomorrow. I'm starting a little late. I have something to do in the morning, so I'm not going to probably get in until 7:30, 8 o'clock. But usually every day I'm there at 6 a.m. and I've been working late days. Both my boss and my head super have been out for the last week, so I am been handling double duty, so to speak, on the job. So I'm kind of looking forward to. We have a really big pour on Tuesday night. I'm going to be on the job for about 16 hours or better. Yeah, I'm hoping I can take Wednesday off afterwards because I'm exhausted as it is now. But vacation's coming up soon. I'm going to be taking a vacation. But
when are you taking vacation?
When? Probably in February. I'm going to probably take a week off. My wife and I, our 20-year together anniversary is coming, so we're actually thinking about going up to Pennsylvania or upstate New York, renting a cabin somewhere where there's some skiing or people skiing. I don't know if I want to go skiing, but kind of lock ourselves in a cabin with a fireplace and our dogs and have a week of quiet time. We're not sure yet.
Nice.
So we'll see. But so Jeff, right now I'm seeing if I can share this on the screen so you can see it along with me. Let's run through some of the scenarios. So in the AFC, Jeff, we've got clinched. The Buffalo Bills have clinched the East Division. The Chiefs have clinched the AFC West and a first-round bye. The only one bye in each conference now. The Steelers have the North Division sewn up. So right now there's still the AFC South, which is up for grabs with Baltimore. Baltimore can clinch with a bevy of wins and losses by different people.
Wait, Baltimore don't play in the AFC South.
It's the AFC
North. The AFC North.
I'm sorry. I apologize. The AFC South still for granted, but there's a chance that Baltimore can make the playoffs with this scenario. Cleveland has an opportunity. There's tons of ways they can get in and out. They can win, and that basically gets them in. Colts, same thing. So 3 teams still fighting for a wild card in the AFC North. The Dolphins are still fighting for a spot. Another team at 10-5 going to play Buffalo this week. That should be a really good game, fun game to watch, Jeff. If you're going to watch a game this week, 1 o'clock on CBS, although I'll be watching the Giants at that time.
Yeah.
Tennessee with a chance to possibly get in. They need a win, and they'll catch one of the division the wild cards. Jeff, let's sell right now. We're flying down here, but what team do you have now? The Browns win get a chance versus Pittsburgh. You giving Browns the chance to win this game?
I'd like to see the Browns get in, man. I really would. I'd like to see what they're going to do if they're going to take a step and be the next team. There's a void now with New England kind of dropping out of the playoffs. Pittsburgh getting older.
Yep.
Baltimore maybe being exposed for the team that they are. So, somebody's got to step up, and why not? Won't let it be Cleveland, man.
Yep. So Tennessee got a chance to win the title, the AFC South title. There's the right team. At Houston this Sunday at 4 o'clock. They get a win or an Indianapolis loss. Indy still has a chance to clinch the playoff berth. They have a chance to win the division. I think it's going to be Miami, Baltimore, and the Browns sneaking in with Tennessee winning the AFC South title. So I think your 3 wild cards will come out of Miami, the Browns, and the Ravens, although I'm praying the Ravens lose and Indianapolis gets in. But I don't see that happening. In the NFC, Jeff, interesting. The Packers have clinched the North title. The Saints, who might be playing the best football of anybody, although the Packers looked pretty good the other day, have got the South Division title. The Seahawks have won the West Division. The Rams, Jeff, I don't understand the Rams. Look like world beaters. Now they're not only did they lose to the Jets, they lost to the Seahawks. Goff is hurt. This is a team that was a good chance won't make the playoffs.
Goff actually getting his thumb operated on.
Yeah, so he's done. They're going with some guy named John Wolford as their quarterback this week.
Yeah, I think they're going to end up getting in because I don't think that Arizona is going to be able to take the next step.
Well, Arizona plays the Rams, so here's the they need to win or they need a Chicago loss to grab a title. I do believe you're right. I think Arizona might win, but Arizona is so up and down this year. I don't know. Tampa's got a playoff berth, which I told you before the season they'd have one. They're uninspiring, but there's a chance there. The Bears, again, 8-7, they have a chance. They got to beat Green Bay, or they need to win, or they need an Arizona loss, which is possible too. So still some up in the air. Cowboys at the Giants. We know the NFC East. What happens there?
That's such a sham.
Listen,
Such a shame.
you know what? I agree with you, Jeff. I'll admit I'm going to agree with you that I think it's terrible that there's a division that 6 or 7 wins will win their division. I'm not going to disagree with you. But I'll say this: it is what it is, and I will not apologize, nor should the Giants or any other team, for winning it and going to the playoffs. Now, let me ask you this quick scenario. Let's say, I don't care, let's say the Cowboys win. Okay, just for happenstance. Cowboys win this game. They go into the playoffs. They've won 7 games. Everybody saying, the Cowboys don't deserve the Cowboys. What if the Cowboys win a game? At that point, have they deserved being there, or is it still a sham?
If the Cowboys get in at 7-9, I have no problem with that.
Okay, so if the Giants get in there 6-10, you have a problem with that, but not 7-win.
If the Giants got in at 16-0, I'd have a problem with
it. I got that already. But answer my honest question. It's a sincere. Let's use the Giants. They have the worst record of all. But if the Giants get in at 6-10 and win a playoff game, they go out and beat the Buccaneers or whoever their matchup is. I haven't figured that out yet.
If a team wins that division at 7-9, okay,
yep,
you could make an argument and find 2 to 3 games, if not more, that didn't go their way, and say, well, listen, they lost 3 games by 5 points or less. There was 1 game that they were winning into their last possession, and if they had won those games, they would have been 11-5 instead of 7-9. Okay, and then they go out and they actually played all of these games close, and then they play in a playoff game and they win big. Say they win a game 35-7. Okay, but regardless of who the team is, if you have a team 5-11, 6-10, and they make it into the first round of the playoffs, like the Giants, they've been getting outscored the last 3 games. I think they've been averaging 30 points a game. Whatever.
Yeah, 13, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's horrible. That's horrible. You could make any argument you want and just say that here's the bottom line: they're a bad team.
But what if they go into the playoffs and beat a team that won 10 games? Is there validity to their season at that point?
I don't see it happening, so it's hard to say. But if
I'm throw out common sense. If the Giants make the playoffs, they're 6-10. You're gonna berate the fact that they made the playoffs, and I get it. But if they go out there and they beat the Buccaneers or they beat one of the playoff teams, I don't know who at that point. I'd have to see. I'm pretty sure it's the Buccaneers. But let's say they went out and beat the Bucs for that game. There's a 10-11 win team. Do the Giants? Is the Giants season now valid?
No, because you're talking about a team that would have double-digit losses getting into the playoffs. There's just something about that. That's like Jacob deGrom winning the Cy Young, and he won 7 games, 9 games.
Yeah,
he didn't fit certain criteria. A team that lost. Think of the teams that may be left out of the playoffs.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah. Listen,
like maybe the Rams, maybe the Cardinals.
Yeah.
That teams that were definitely better than a team with double-digit losses. Has a team that has lost 10 or more games ever made the playoffs before?
I don't think so. I want to say the worst record to make the playoffs so far is a 7-9. I think the Seahawks a few years ago was 7-9.
Yeah.
I think that's so I think the Giants, if they made it in at 6-10, would be the worst record to ever make the playoffs.
Yeah, come on.
But having said that, if so let's say it's the Buccaneers, the Giants get in, they play a great game, they beat the Bucs. The Bucs won 11 games. Does that mean that their season was a mirage because they won 11 games and lost to the Giants? And isn't everybody 0-0 when the playoffs start?
Oh wow, we're really gonna dig that. Huh?
I'm just asking a simple question.
I'm just asking. I countered your question with a question and said you're really gonna go there. You're really gonna bring that.
I went there. When you start the playoffs, does your regular season standings matter?
Yes.
Are you not 0-0?
No, you're not. And you know that because then they'll turn around and say, let's just say that the Cowboys get in and they win and they're 7-9.
Right.
Okay. And now they win their first round, their first wild card round. And they'll be the following week, the 8-9 Cowboys take on the 11-5 Seattle Seahawks or 12-5 Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, they do count those playoff wins towards their yearly win total. So now they don't get a clean slate.
I disagree. I think it a clean slate. And thanks, Patty. He said the Giants would be the number 4 seed because whoever wins the NFC East would be the 4th.
He said the NFC gets the number 4 seed and hosts the number 5.
Correct.
The NFC didn't say NFC East.
No, it's NFC East. It has to be because
what he says.
No, I got what he's saying, but he's right though because the Packers or the Saints are going to be number 1. The other one's going to be number 2, and Seahawks 11-4 would be the 3 seed. So the NFC East winner is the automatic 4 seed.
Giants is sham.
No, so whoever wins the NFC East, and he says,
I know. Now he said it, but I'm just saying the Giants.
And then they play number 5. Number 5 is automatically the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the Giants would host the
Tampa Bay.
Huh?
They can't move up or down.
No, because the division winners. Well, the division winners
win the division, but they can't go backwards. They can't go down.
I don't think they can. I think based on their record, and their tiebreakers, they're automatically the number 5 seed right now. So regardless of who are the other 2 wild cards are, the Tampa Bay has the better record. So Tampa Bay is the 4 as the 5. Whoever wins the East is the 4. That team hosts playoff game number 1 against Tampa Bay, which. Again, Tampa Bay could be 11-5 and have to travel to a 6-10, 7-9 team,
and
lose.
And the bad news,
is
that Tom Brady, who played cold weather games his entire career, is coming up from down south to a cold weather team, cold weather area to play a playoff game.
I got that, but that he's the only one. There's a lot of guys down that team who've never played in cold weather full time.
Man, I don't know what I would do. If the New York Giants played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady, I don't know what I would do. I don't know who.
I didn't think of that.
For fucking Brady.
You would have to root for Brady because
you root for Brady to be
have
fucking God.
It would be easier for you to swallow Brady winning than the Giants going in and Giants beating them.
Yes.
Because if I will tell you flat out, I'll tell you flat out right here, if the Giants make the playoffs and beat Brady, we will do an entire show dedicated to the New York Giants. Start to finish. We'll go through the history of the Giants, name everybody who's ever played.
That's okay. But I'm telling you, I'm going on record now that if the Giants and Tom Brady cross paths, I have to root for Tom Brady.
Wow, that's big news because you hate Tom Brady.
I hate the Giants more.
Wow, that's good. Listen, I like that. I like when you're on the other side. I like knowing the fact that you, as a mush, are rooting against my New York Giants.
Yeah, I hate your New York Giants, man.
Good. That all is right in the world. When you hate the Giants, all is right in the world.
Well, everything's been right in the world for the last 40 years.
No, I got a few. There's a few trophies. If you look over my shoulder, you'll see all the trophies.
All I see is some barely. I can't even see what it is. It's just
I want to tell you a funny story real fast before we get off the air. I thought of it today. It's a Louis Pika story. I hope Louis is still listening because it's a funny Louis Pika story. You want to hear it real quick? So I can't remember how. It's got to be 20 something years ago. For a few years, the Giants had this thing called Big Blue Travel. So they used to have this like own travel agency where they would book like trips for people to go. Like if you were Giant fans, they would get you a room and they would get you tickets to the game and all these different things coming up. And you could book through Big Blue Travel. It's gone now. But they also used to do this breakfast every single year.
Okay.
And this story is going to tell you how great a guy I am.
Oh,
This
God.
is where this is going. So
I'm listening.
Big Blue Travel used to do this breakfast every year. At the end of each season, they would have a giant breakfast, and they would have a bunch of players, new and old, and they'd come up there. They show the highlights from the season, and the players would do a talk and pep talk, and it'd be a lot of fun. And then they would separate all the players, and everybody would sign autographs and take pictures. It lasted about 3-4 hours. Usually, I think it was a 9 o'clock start, and they'd be done one. They'd have a buffet breakfast. It was really nice. You pay a few bucks, and it was nice. So the first year I went to meet with Lou, I think he had gone before me, I think. But the first year they were honoring Lawrence Taylor. So it cost $56 to get in, and LT was the feature guy at this thing. So they do all the speeches, they do all the stuff, and now they break everybody up into different tables. And of course, the biggest line is for Lawrence Taylor, right? You would imagine that most people wanted Lawrence Taylor's autograph, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so Louis and I had a strategy. We said, let's go to everybody else, and we'll do Taylor last. That way, the line will be a lot less.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Of course.
Okay, so we do all of that. We got football signed by all these different Giants, and it was a ton of fun. Took some pictures. It was a blast. And then Louis, we're like little kids, talking to the players. And Louis is a bigger Giant fan than I am. He guy goes to every game, and family go. I think back to Shea Stadium days. I mean, just phenomenal. Back to Yankee Stadium days. So we get to the end. Okay, it's about 5 minutes to 1. Louis and I are online, and I'm going to say there's 3 people ahead of us, and me and Louis.
Okay.
So one person goes. Now there's 2 people and me and Louis. So the one person goes. Now the security guard comes over and goes, "Okay, Mr. Taylor's going to do 2 more." Right. So no, I'm sorry. There's one person ahead of us and me and Louis.
Yeah.
It's okay. So there's 3 people left online. The guy comes over and says, "Hey, Lawrence Taylor's only going to do two more signings." So I look behind me. There's nobody. I'm the last person. I'm standing next to Louis. The guy says, so I said, "God, there's 3 of us. You can't sign 3 more? I mean, not 2, just 1 extra one?" Flat out. He signed 2 more, and he's done. So I'm like, holy shit, that sucks. I mean, so now we're looking at each other. So it comes down to, we're going, okay, who's going to get Lawrence Taylor's autograph? One of us is going home empty-handed.
Yeah.
So me being the friend, I said, "Lou, you've been a Giant fan longer. You might even be a bigger Giant fan than me. You go meet Lawrence Taylor. I'll not get it. I will pass on, obviously, one of my favorite Giants of all time for Lou." But I said, "Louis," and I hope he remembers this, here's the deal. The football you get signed, God forbid, I hope it doesn't come for 300 years. But when the day comes that Louis Peak is not here, I get the football. It comes to me in the will. And I gave up my spot to meet one of my idols for Lou.
Well,
That's how much of a friend I am.
that is a gentlemanly type thing that you did.
Yes.
And I could see you doing that.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. And evidently you did it because he will back up the story, I'm sure.
I'm sure, Louis, all I want to hear you say it's true. Just say, "Tom, it's true." And we'll all know.
I got to be honest with you.
Go ahead.
I would have pushed my mother out of the way if I could have been able to go meet Lawrence Taylor. And I'm not even a Giant fan. And if they turn around and they say, "Well, you can let Mom go," or I'll just be like, "Fuck Mom, I'm going. I'm going to meet him. Sorry, Mom," and just get out of the way, and that's it.
But it's just the funny part of the story for me is there were 3 of us online, and he was only going to do 2 people. I'm like, dude,
Yeah, no, that's fucked up. And Lou, you're right. I would never do that. If I was waiting online to see Lawrence Taylor, I would fucking forget about it.
But Louis
would let you go. I would not. Nuts.
I want it in the will, Lou. I want it in the will. I get the football. God forbid you go first, and I hope you don't. But if I go first, you got to show up at my wake with the football. Throw Jeff one pass with the Lawrence Taylor football, although he might drop it because he's.
I'm not listening. I don't even want to touch it.
Yeah, you might have. Yeah, don't let him touch it. They're right.
Only
Just
one
swap with it for me. So
'Cause I'll tell you this much: he puts it in the box with you. You better not turn around because I'm gonna fucking grab that shit, go right to the first fucking card store and sell that shit.
So yes,
on fucking eBay.
there's a picture. I'm sure there's a picture somewhere floating around of me taking a picture of. I actually even took a picture of Louis with Lawrence Taylor getting the football sign.
You didn't say nothing to Lawrence Taylor?
You were so far away. It had to be 20 feet away, and I might have. I might have. Come on, LT. I might have did one of those. He probably just blew us off. He was probably halfway out the door to like some Filipino coke whore somewhere. I have no idea.
Dude, as soon as he started signing fucking or talking to Louis, I would have been like, "You motherfucker! You couldn't fucking squeeze one more in there. You can't."
I'm telling you, he refused. I mean, I said, "Can you tell the guy there's 3 people online? Just one more person." Nope. 1 o'clock, he's done. I'm like, there's nobody behind me. I mean, we were like the last 2. It was me, Louis, and the janitors. We were going to stay and sweep.
Christ, man, that sucks. You know, I met Stone Cold Steve Austin. I know not on the same level as
I met him too.
As
Nice guy.
Lawrence Taylor. What's that?
Nicest guy in the world. Met him at a shit Met game. He went out of his way to sign a baseball for me.
Well, dude, he was the biggest douchebag.
Really?
Yeah, we met him on Highland Boulevard. There was a plumbing supply train store on Highland Boulevard.
Plumbing supply train store?
Yeah. If you were on Highland Boulevard, it was right past Nelson Avenue on your right-hand side, heading out towards Tottenville.
Mm-hmm.
We went there, it was about 150 degrees. So I go there with my first wife and her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
We got all the way on the back of the line, which was from Highland Boulevard up the side street and down the next side street. So I turned around and I told her, my first wife, I was like, listen, I says, I'm going to walk the line and see if there's anybody that I know. Right. And she says, and if I do, I should jump in the line. So I happened to see my cousin, John Michael Sibeli.
Oh, sure.
This is pre-kitty touching days.
I was just going to say, you sure you want to admit to that?
Listen, it was before he did anything. I didn't know what the guy was all about.
Well, at least before you knew he was doing anything.
Yeah. And I seen him. I was like, oh, man, thank God you held us a spot, man. Holy shit. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, just shut the fuck up, because I'm going to cut like half a block off my wait time here. So we jump in the line. He's like, we're going to get killed. I'm like, just be cool and it's all good. You know what I mean? It's all good. Nobody said anything. So we get on the line. Then all of a sudden, Stone Cold comes in on a limousine. They're blasting his music and stuff like that. He jumps up on top of the limousine and then he storms off inside and then the line never moves. So then all of a sudden the line starts to like move up a little bit here, a little bit. It had to be about 110 degrees. So we finally get inside to meet him. And he must have signed about God knows how many autographs by this point in time, maybe 500. Who the fuck knows? Wow. And he's literally just going like this here. Like just signing. He's not even looking up at you. And the pictures that we had of him were like on the top of his head as he's signing and shit. And I was like, hey, Stone Cold, man, what's going on? I think he was going to fight The Undertaker. Is he going to beat The Undertaker? And he's just like, yeah, And he just kept handing out pictures. And that was it. And I was like, what a fucking dick. We waited, God knows how long out in the heat. This guy's signing pictures in an air-conditioned fucking store. And you can't even turn around and just be like, hey, man, thanks for supporting me. Just even if you're lying, who cares? I
got to tell you, I had such a different experience. I used to work for Fox. Louis and I worked there together. We did a lot of stuff together. Anyway, I was doing for a season, I did a lot of times the radar gun right behind home plate, standing behind the thing, shooting the gun on TV the whole time. Funny as hell. Anyway, one day I'm standing there, I'm waiting for the game to start, and Stone Cold Steve Austin was on the field. And I wasn't a huge wrestling fan, but my sons were. My son Thomas was. And I'm standing there and I see him. He make eye contact and just, kind of nods at me. I nod at him. And he kind of just goes like you want to, and I was like, yeah. So I said, I got nothing on me. And he literally ran around, found the baseball on the floor, walked over and signed it to me and handed it to me. Couldn't have been a nicer guy.
Now, see, that's cool.
Couldn't have been a nicer guy.
That's cool.
Jerry, I can't tell you. I can tell you 100 stories about meeting celebrities, meeting sports guys. Some great. Met Sam Rosen. You brought him up before. While peeing at a urinal at a Ranger game. Nice guy in the whole world. Saying, hey, how you doing? I'm taking a piss, but I'm doing all right.
I could have met Eddie Trunk.
I met him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was he?
He actually wasn't a bad guy. I have to admit. Yeah, I've soured on him because he refused to do the show. I asked him a couple times, and we actually had a connection. Like his producer and some of my stepkids were very close, and did help me get him on the show. And I kind of was down on him a little bit.
Nah, well, that sucks. But I didn't actually get a chance to talk to him.
Oh no, yeah. I went to a concert at Starland Ballroom. It was somebody else and Jackal, and the three guys from that metal show did their own little thing beforehand, and then they had a signing session.
Yeah.
So we had a VIP. We went in, and my wife we got to talk to him for a bit. I had this old school Iron Maiden shirt on, and he was like, "That's a great shirt." And we were talking about Iron Maiden. He was such a nice guy, but like I hate his guts now. I don't know why.
Yeah, I hear you. I
But-
was actually using the bathroom when he came in the bathroom.
oh really?
Yeah, and there I am, like looking through the crack of the door, and I'm like, "That's fucking Eddie Trunk," and I'm over here pinching a loaf, and I can't get there. Shit.
One of these days, we'll tell some stories. I guess I got a whole bunch. I sat on a Ranger bench with John Richter and Messier and those guys. I met Wayne Gretzky up in the booth one day. Hung out with John Davidson
Did you get to talk to Wayne Mark Messier.
Oh yeah, for like 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Was he cool?
Very cool. All the range. I got to tell you something. If you ever want to meet pro athletes who are really nice, hockey players, 99% of them were just the nicest people in the world.
Was Mark Messier like one of the ugliest people ever?
Again, at that point, I don't know if I paid attention to that. I would just say
Thinking like all full of scars and nicks and everything.
just super nice guys. I was Gretzky's. It must have been the year before Gretzky's his last year with the Rangers. I was doing a Ranger Flyer game, and he wasn't playing. And all the guys who don't play skate early. And my buddy and I went down to the ice, and we sat right behind the bench where they were kind of working out, and they were just shooting the shit with us. And they couldn't have been nicer guys. He didn't really talk to us too much. It was a couple of the other guys and Richter, but he came like, "Hey boys, how you doing?" That kind of thing. Like just nice guy in the whole world.
Gretzky didn't talk to you much?
No, Gretzky was actually very nice. Signed a whole bunch. I got a couple things signed by Gretzky from that day. I was up in the booth I think in either Boston or in Philly, and John Davidson was doing stats, and Davidson said, Gretzky's coming up between periods. Get your stuff ready. I'll have him sign it for you.
Oh, yeah, that's cool, right?
And Gretzky came in and
talking to you is cool.
Yeah, John Davidson was one of the nicest human beings. Him and the guy just retired. What's his name? The hockey announcer just retired. Oh my God, couldn't have been a nicer guy. Oh my God, the hockey announcers were the absolute. They would sit there to give you money, go buy food. They would just store. Oh yeah, like because they would the big thing for hockey guys, pretzels. They would tell you, okay, 2 minutes before the period's over, you leave. Go get us pretzels and make sure you're back here by the end of the period so we can eat our pretzels before. Like that was their biggest thing, pretzels. Indian pretzels. I'm telling you, the nicest guys and nicest guys in the world. Couldn't be Sam Rosen, JD, the other guy. I can't think of his name. It's escaping me, but nicest people in the world. Yeah, Doc Emmerich. That's it. Doc Emmerich. Doc Emmerich. I worked with him a bunch of games one year. The next year. It was almost a year later that I saw him. I walked into the booth. He's like, "Tom, how you doing? How's your family?" Like we were best friends. I met the guy like 4 or 5 times.
Nice.
Wouldn't have been a nice. I'm telling you, hockey guys, the nicest people. Baseball, bunch of jerk offs. Oh, I felt like I was going to get into a fight with Jorge Posada one day.
Really?
I'll tell you again. We got to go. I'll tell you the stories one day. I got a bunch of them. So great to got to do what I did, but. We'll end the show right here. Jeff's got to work. I got to work. And we thank you. But listen, we're going to wind down 2020 by saying thank you to everybody who paid attention to us all year. Louis, Patrick, everybody tonight. I can't say thanks enough for paying attention to the show. We love doing it and having people kind of chime in with us, Jeff. I think is a great thing. So for me, guys, I look forward to 2021. I'm happy to put this one in the rearview mirror.
I just kind of makes you think that what kind of lives do these guys have that they actually come in and listen to the show. Like, don't you have anything else to do?
Stop. We want somebody to pay attention. Our wives don't pay attention to us. Why we got to have at least Patrick and Louie and a few guys paying attention to us tonight. And listen, it's a lot of fun. Patrick, Happy New Year to you, sir.
Yes, Happy New Year.
One of the best umpires ever and a quality guy, man. Just a quality guy. But Jeff, you have anything you want to end with, Jeff? I mean, you want to say anything for 2020? Anything you want to?
Listen, here's hoping that we all have a better year next year, which starts in a little bit more than 48 hours. Hopefully, it's better for everybody, us and everybody that watches the show and then hangs out with us every week. And hopefully, we're here next year at this time saying the same thing.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I told you, this is a little sad. The holidays are now over.
Yeah.
Come January 1st, it's just like it's winter, and that's it.
That's the truth. Are you allowed? Are people allowed to give out their resolutions? Are you allowed to tell people? Is that like a jinx thing? Because I got a couple resolutions for next year.
I don't know. Does it really matter? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. But anyway, guys, I thanks to everybody who pays attention, and lots of great stuff coming up next year.
What's your resolution?
One to get this to do more shows for this to try to grow the show bigger and better. That's always one. I'm determined to drop 50 pounds by June or July. That's my goal for this year. I didn't have it for this year, but next year I want to get to fighting shape. I want to be able to, unlike you who takes your pants off in public or maybe sometimes in private for other people, I want to be able to take my shirt off in public. So that's my goal for next year.
Okay. It's all right.
So
I've seen your nipples before. I'm looking forward to this.
Well, the biggest goal is to get you guys all to come back next year. We'll start with it next Thursday night. We'll talk about the big giant win Sunday night.
I'll tell you, here's a one for next year. You want to have a resolution for next year?
Sure.
Next year, everybody that was on this thread, it would be nice if we can all go to a fucking place, sit down like gentlemen.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And have a drink while we all do this show together and add stuff in that happened through the years, stuff like that. Just have a fucking blast like you would wanted to do a show like that once before. But we need a place to do it. We need to be allowed to bring people in and stuff like that. So here's hoping next year at this time we could do that.
I would agree. That's a great resolution. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. I do want to do that, have an open mic and do a show in a bar and have some fun. We've talked about it. Maybe for the draft. Maybe we'll get lucky. We'll do it for the draft this year. We'll pick a place. But guys, have a great, safe New Year's Eve, New Year's weekend. I don't think many people are going to be out, but if you are, please be safe. Call Jeff if you need a ride. He's more than happy to come get you.
Yeah.
But Jeff, to you, my friend, I will tell you another year. We've officially reached 40 years of friendship at this point. The beginning of this year will be 40 years. We are friends, so I am thankful for that and continue to be friends. And love doing the show with you every week and glad that you put up with it. So for me, we would love to have Patrick come and hang out with us. But in the meantime, I'm happy to hang out with you guys on the air. But Jeff, hopefully we'll get the band together soon. I hope you have a good New Year's, even though you got to work. I know you're happy about working, but I hope you're.
It's all right. You know, my grandmother died on New Year's Eve.
Oh, really?
In 2010, and it kind of took what little was left out of the holiday. It kind of took it, but it is what it is. And for years, it's like I really didn't even acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Not that I'm looking to acknowledge it now because I don't need to go someplace else and get fucked up. I can do that at my house whenever I want, and I choose not to do it too often. But it's a Bush League holiday.
I listen, I agree. I'm not the biggest New Year's person. To me, I'm happy on the couch. I am probably going to get drunk, so you'll probably be able to see me on Facebook doing a bunch of things. So don't encourage me to buy anything. I will not be making any purchases. Huh?
Now's the time to strike.
Yeah, but I will be watching reruns of the Odd Couple and a few other marathons that I enjoy and watching some football. And just sitting back and relaxing on a nice 3-day weekend for myself. But I hope you guys all and your families have a better year next year. We're going to be here. Hopefully you guys will come and join us, and we'll talk a lot of football next week, and like we do every week. And again, thank you to everybody, but especially to Jeff for being part of this. It makes it even better.
Yeah, absolute pleasure, man. Thank you for doing it and giving us all something to do on Thursday night.
Yeah, so we're going to keep doing it. We'll see you guys next Thursday night. Enjoy your weekend. Please be safe. Don't drink and drive. Stay out of trouble. And if you, like I said, you get in trouble, call Jeff. He's always willing. He's got a hand ready for you. Go Blue. Big Sunday games. So maybe the Giants. I'll tell you this much right now, real quick. Last thing. if the Giants win and they make the playoffs, there will be a show on the day of the Giant playoff game. I promise you, whether I do it myself or not, there will be a Giant football, a pregame on the Hard Rock and Sports Show. Jeff's just dying, praying it don't happen.
Listen, I just don't want you to be disappointed, Tom.
I'm going to be disappointed. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm encouraged by my team and its future.
Right.
That's just the way we're going to end the show, folks. With that look and that sound, that's how we're going to end the show. So
the Giants doing anything in the playoffs is like entering a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, man. It just doesn't make any sense.
I disagree, but we'll find out. We're going to find out soon enough. Guys, enjoy New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Enjoy the football this weekend. We'll see you back here next week. And thanks to T-Mots, Sean Segru, everybody on Facebook and YouTube who paid attention to us tonight. And you're all welcome to come back next Thursday when we do it all over again at 7 o'clock right here on the Hard Rock and Sports Show. Jeff, I love you, brother.
Same, man. Same. Thank you.
So from Jeff Towinski, myself, and everybody here at Hard Rock and Sports, I say good night, Happy New Year, and a great holiday season, and a great start to next year. Good night, everybody.
All right, man. Be good, dude.
All right, pal. Good night. And the broadcast.